Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
Doing well. Are you home now?
I'm home.
You've had quite a summer.
Telling you, after 2 months, it's very strange to be home. Good and bad. So,
Yeah.
the bad is the fact that while I was gone, my sweet little doggy passed away.
Oh no.
Oh,
So it's one thing to know it, and it's one thing to get here and not
Yeah.
have jumping all over me. And that was,
Oh,
I
that's
mean,
awful.
I had already had said goodbye to him. I figured it might happen, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite the and then my kids were gone, my husband was gone, the house was empty, and my house has never been empty. The dog has always been there, you know. So walking into an actually empty house was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sorry, who passed away?
my dog
Oh,
Skylar.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we still have 7 chickens clucking away and a tortoise and other stuff, but the dog was the heart, you know. So
Yeah.
just that's all. But I don't want to start it with a bad. I'm just saying how it's been good and bad, but that's been the most shocking portion is the actual realization that the house was empty.
Very
But anyway,
quiet. Yeah.
what's that? Very quiet. Yeah. It's instead of like, all over the place. But yeah, I'm home and welcome everyone. Hi, welcome
Hello.
back. And I have my two computers and all my screens and everything set up to help people with the different setups and everything. So it should be great. Now I'm about to open up my old computer and join the meeting with my old one because I know that I'm going to have to do that for at least for Carol, if not a few others. So I'm going to join now with the second computer so that I can, and I'm glad it's working because it wasn't having a very good time when I left this old guy. And there we go. So now you see me, or at least you see my little avatar on
No,
the second
I
computer.
can't wait.
It's okay. You're not seeing the video on that one. You're just seeing a little.
I don't know what happened.
All right. So here we go.
Wait, Zoom, where, huh? Oh,
What's happening right
I,
now? All you should be seeing is Zoom.
I'm on the dashboard and I have other, my iPad, um, on Zoom, but it says that um, that the meeting ID number is wrong.
Yeah, the meeting ID missing a 1 digit.
Oh, thank you, Miss Sun. But can you just click on the link instead of typing in by Miss Meeting ID? Otherwise, let me go
Know
see.
how to do that on my iPad.
Oh, you don't pick up email from your iPad? Okay, so then
Mail,
let me go
mail.
look at the email. Let me
It
Yeah,
look.
should
my
be 9552. The last four should be 9552.
9552.
Uh-huh.
Thank you. You know
Accept.
what? I'm going to write that down and I'm going to go fix that meeting ID. So I did not know it was missing. And where are my notepads? See, getting accustomed to everything and where things are again. Let's see.
Okay,
So
so
the meeting ID is missing the last number two, Mason. Is that what you're saying?
Because in your email, the last four, it should be 9552. You only have a 952.
Okay, missing the last number two. Okay, I'll go fix that meeting ID.
Mm.
Thanks. Now, for most people, this doesn't matter, you guys, because you just click on the link to get into the Zoom. But whenever you have to dial in the numbers to get into the Zoom, yeah, it shouldn't be missing. So thanks for letting me know. And I'll work on getting that back. On the next email, it'll be there. All right. So cool. So Sue, though, that's good news that you have your iPad going now, because then we will not have the issue you had last class
Right.
where you couldn't go back and forth.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. So whenever, so I'm going to show you how to minimize the Zoom on the computer.
Well, wait till I, wait,
First
wait.
let you,
till I
yeah, first
logged
get
in.
yourself on in the iPad. That's good. All right, let me see who else is here. Hi, Julie. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Bob. Hi, Diane. Hi, Larry. Let me see. Hi, Carol. Yolanda. Hi, Georgia. Mason, Carol, the other Carol Sauceda. And let me go ahead, Diane, on your second connection, I'm going to change that name to Larry so that both of you appear as attending the class. There we go. Because these names, so everyone, make sure you have your first and last name. I think everyone does. Yep, I see first and last names everywhere. Okay, great. We're off and running. I hate this little blur background thing, but ever since I moved into my studio, and I've been gone for 2 months, so it's still where it was. There's a lot to do behind me before I can really show you, because it's like, but at some point I will take this little blur off. But anyway, okay. So,
Diane,
ooh, have you connected?
and you see me?
I can see you, yeah.
I can't see you. I don't know how to get onto
Well,
Zoom on my iPad.
Well, you said you were hold on, while I'm helping Sue, can everyone make sure to go to the chat? Where I just wrote good morning. If you see that, some of you guys have signed in, but not all of you. So please, everyone sign in. And thank you, Julie, for mentioning that you need to leave at some point. And meanwhile, you do that, I will be helping Sue. So, on your iPad, have you been able to get in with the meeting ID?
Now, I tried it before and now I'm someplace, I'm in Safari, Zoom just came up. I private Safari, Zoom, Zoom Workplace Pro free trial,
Your
your
in
cart.
Safari, it would be much easier to go to your email, to say the truth. Do you know how to get into school? To get to the email?
Do I sign in on my iPad to the school?
You can do that, and then in the Gmail, you can just click on the link. That would be one way.
That's what I have on I have the dashboard on my,
Yeah, and if you do that on your iPad, then you'll have the same thing, and then you'll go to the Gmail iPad, on the
resilient.
dashboard, which
Okay.
is what we did last class.
I've got something, I don't know how to get out of this. How do I get out?
When you say this, I don't know what this is, so be more specific. Get
Safari.
out of what? Get out of what?
I'm in Safari.
Okay,
I'm under
so
those-
then just type my.sbcc.edu.
Well, then
Safari. In your iPad, type my.sbcc.edu.
wait, I'm trying to close what I have on my, this is a billing thing.
Okay, so Sue, try to figure it out a little bit while I continue with the class, okay? 'Cause
Yes.
there's a lot of people waiting. I'm happy to help you, but I can't only do you. Listen to me for a minute. Sue, can you look at me for a second? Okay, so if you have Safari open on your iPad, then the same steps that you did for your computer, which is
Right, I know that.
and then sign in. So once you're there, get back to me and I'll help you get to your email from there. Okay?
Okay, I just
Right.
don't know how to get out of this.
I don't know if you have a button one, double click on the button
I
at the
don't have,
bottom.
I have ZU at the very top left-hand corner, and I have no button the Zoom.
Sue, let's do this. I can't really, at this point,
Right,
without
go
seeing
ahead.
your iPad, help you with your iPad. Once I begin to share things like iPad, I can show you how to switch from program to program. But if you have a different program in front of your Safari, I don't know how to help you. But if it's just Safari, which is in front, just is filling your screen, if it's an iPad, then at the top where it says Google or whatever, you can just type in the my.sbcc in there. And that's all I can think of right now. Okay. So, didn't someone say one of the links is wrong? None of the links are wrong, Georgia. It's just that in the email, when you go in without clicking the link takes you here. But when underneath it says, otherwise type in this meeting ID and password. But it looks like the meeting ID is missing a little number, and she was trying to get in typing those numbers.
So the
So
link's
that's it.
okay, it's the sign-in information that's
Yeah,
not.
which if you do it, very few people sign in that way. And so it turns out that Maysan does. And so she said, yeah, it's missing a number. And so that's why we were able to help Sue. But Sue,
What number was it that's missing?
then Maysan, is it a number 2 at the end of the meeting ID?
Was
The last
9552.
the last 4 digits should be 9552.
Got it.
There we go.
Mm.
So it should be 9552. So but since that's my bad that when I copied the meeting ID, I didn't it seems like I missed the number 2. Okay. All right, so Patricia just came in, and Kate. Hi, Kate. Nice to see you. And Linda. Hi, Linda. Can you add your last name,
Hi.
Linda? Or do you know how to add your last name? Or should I do it for you?
You can do it for me.
And here's the thing though, and the reason I say I'm happy to do it for you, but let me explain. Every time you start, it'll just say Linda, because that's just what Zoom knows of you. Either at some point you go into the settings of Zoom and tell it your full name and last name, and then it'll always do that. Or every day when you sign in, because for other meetings that you have, you might want to just be known as Linda, so you don't want it to always be first and last name. Then just hover right now over your own video of yourself, put your mouse over your video, and you'll see that on the top right, 3 little dots appear. Click on those 3 little dots, and midway down that menu, it says rename, and then you can add your own name. Okay?
Okay,
Got it?
got it.
Perfect. And then that way you don't have to then you don't have to depend on me doing it for you, and now you know how to do it. I
Exactly.
do my very best to do things for you occasionally. But my goal is always for you guys to learn how to do them yourselves, because when I'm not around, who's going to do it, right? Now, I'm seeing someone called Zoom user connecting. I'm assuming that's you, Sue. On your iPad, is it working? You're beginning to connect?
Yes, to hear others, please join audio.
Okay.
No, you don't.
No.
Right, you want
They
audio
do
off.
not connect to audio. Guys, on your
Right.
second device, right? Do not connect to
Right.
audio. That's perfect. Then there's none of that bzzz
Wi-Fi
that
or
was happening.
cellular data, dial in, no audio.
No audio. Perfect.
Okay.
And then just say continue or whatever you need to say.
And I'm
Perfect.
trying, there we go.
Good, there you are. And now I'm going to rename that as you on your iPad. So this is going to be Sue Ward on iPad, which now is where you're going to watch me. So anyone else who has this 2 device deal, now just prop it up and watch me there. Don't touch it anymore. Like that's it. That you don't need to do anything on from now on. Then look at your computer, the one that now you're going to do the work on. And now what you can do is you can hide your Zoom and just forget about it. Zoom does not, need to be in there in that Zoom anymore, unless you need to share your screen with me. So how do you do that? Go up to the Zoom, top left of your Zoom of the computer that you're working on, okay? And over there, you see that at the top left that it has a little red, green, and yellow kind of dots. Do you see those? And I can't show it to you on Zoom because Zoom doesn't share itself, but I'm going to share this. And this is for everyone, okay? This is not just for Sue. I have something open. It doesn't matter what's open right now, but at the top left, there's always these little red, yellow, and green little dots, okay? So on everything on the Mac, when you open it, whatever it might be. So I'm showing it to her on this, but it could be on your own Zoom. If you want Zoom out of the way, which you would do only if you have it like this on a second screen, so you don't need it anymore, then click on the little yellow one in the middle, and boom, it'll kind of get out of the way, but it's still running. And now you have a complete Mac screen there, so that now you'll be able to do all the work that we do on this one. Okay. And the iPad just is sitting there where you're watching me. So that is the easiest solution to how to deal with the class, right? Is to have the setup done in such a way that you don't have to worry anymore. I'm going to stop my share right now. Here we go. And as you guys saw, that's a Mac. It's a Mac with the Sequoia operating system, as opposed to last week that I had a PC. Now, when I just talked about Sequoia operating system, I might have lost some of you guys. So let me explain what I'm talking about, because that's what we're going to do next. I'm going to share my screen again. And this is my entire desktop. And it has this little tree kind of thing in the way, forest. And that's the default photo that comes with the operating system that is the latest operating system. Operating system is that thing that runs your computer, and it's called Sequoia. So of course they have big old sequoias in the background photos. Now you could change what this does or doesn't do, but how do I know that this is what operating system it is, and what even is the operating system? Well, the operating system is that which runs your computer. It's what tells your computer what to do. If the operating system isn't running, it's not, the computer's not working. And how do you know that your operating system is running and everything is working? Is because at the bottom left of your dock, the first thing on the bottom left of your dock, if you might all see, is that little half blue, half white kind of smiley face. And when you hover over it, see how it says the word Finder? Well, see how there's a black dot underneath it? And I'm pointing down here to this area of my screen, okay, where I see that little icon that's half white, half blue. And that little dot right there is actually black. That means that this is running. Now you will always see a black dot under the Finder button, because the Finder button is the operating system. Now, I'm going to head completely opposite up to the top where there's this Apple icon. Look up to your top left of your screen and you'll see the Apple icon. The Apple icon is always there at the top left, always. Other things on the screen change, but the Apple icon is always there. And it is that Apple icon where we get to use to find out what is our operating system. So let's all head over to that Apple icon with your mouse, click on it. Mouse or finger. When I say mouse, I know many of you guys don't use a mouse, that you have your touchpad on your thing, in which case it's your finger going there. But and then let's click on About This Mac. Okay, so Apple icon, About This Mac. And most of you will get a box similar to this one. Some of you will get something else, because that means you have an older operating system. But if this is what I have, then it shows me a little tiny icon, and I'm going to reshare so that you see only that little window, so it's easier to read it. So it shows you what computer you're working on, which in this case, it's a MacBook Pro. So it'll show you whatever your computer is, and it'll tell you the model, and it'll tell you all this stuff. And then at the bottom of this whole list of things, it'll say Mac OS, and then it'll tell you what operating system you're on. And in my case, and it's so big that I've kind of drew over. In my case, it's Mac OS, Mac operating system. That's what Mac OS stands for. Sequoia 15.5. So now, if you've been able to find what your operating system is in this system here, then I need you to first write it down somewhere in some piece of paper, because I'll be asking you all the time, all right, what are you on? Are you in Sequoia? Are you in Ventura? Are you in Sonoma? What are you using? And so you'll, write down whatever it says. It could say Sonoma 14.4. It could say Ventura 13.5, whatever it might say, write it down. And then go to the chat, okay? And then write down. So I'm in Sequoia 15.5, and I just wrote that in my chat. And you guys can see that Deanna said, oh, I said 15.54. Okay, that's just a typo. Okay, So I'm going to stop my share and I'm going to show you what it should look like if you have an older operating system like maybe Carol. So I'm going to share, this is my old screen that I'm sharing you guys now. So for those of you who found it the way I just found it, that's it. You don't need to watch this little bit. But I know at least Carol and maybe someone else. If I go to my Apple right here, Apple icon, and then say about this Mac, see how this box looks quite different? This is because it used to look like this. And right now it says Mac OS Monterey at the top, version 12.76. So about 3 years ago, when Monterey was the latest one, it still looked like this. And then it switched, and it could be Ventura, Sonoma, or Sequoia are the new ones. Monterey, Catalina, Sierra, oh, High Sierra, those could be the old ones. Okay. So in which case, then go ahead and tell me I'm on Mac OS Catalina or I'm on Mac OS High Sierra, whatever it is that you're in. Okay. So I want you guys to please put that on the chat. Now I'm noticing that Julie already says she's in Ventura, Patricia's in Ventura, Georgia's in Sequoia, Maysan is in Sequoia, Jennifer is in Monterey. There you go. See, I needed to know that. So Jennifer, you're also on an older system. So whenever I share and you say, mine doesn't look like that, you have to wait until I share my old computer for it to look like yours. Bob has an iPad, and iPad is a different OS. It's a different set of numbers, and it's on an 18. And it would be, Bob, just so you know, it would be called the iOS. So although you put iPad OS, just remember that for the iPad, it would be iOS. Just a detail. I know because, you know, you're doing this with others. Okay, so then macOS Catalina, Carol. Okay, you're in Catalina. And Linda Sequoia, Carol Gears in Monterey. So Monterey, you're in the same one that I'm demoing here. So basically, Carol, Jennifer, Carol Sauceda, Carol Gear, and Jennifer. So both my Carols and Jennifer, you guys are on computers that look like this one, the one I'm sharing right now, which is that means that it's at least an operating system that's at least 3 years old or more, because Catalina is way older than that. Okay, so notice the numbers, guys. I'm going to stop my share. Has everyone answered? Has everyone given me your operating system? Has everyone found it? If you have found it and you have given me in the chat your operating system, give me a yes. So now everyone go to your chat. This is me reminding you how to answer in class. Go to, not to your chat, but to your little reactions buttons and give me a little check mark, green check mark. That's yes, I found my operating system and that I put it on the chat. If you have not found it or don't remember how to put it in the chat, give me a no. Well, or say something, because you might not remember how to give me a no at this point because it's only the second day. Okay, so Carol, and Jennifer. Carol, and Jennifer. I'm going to write that down because later when I'm trying to figure out who needs to see the older version. iPad OS. Okay, that's true. Because the iOS is the shortcut for it, but iPad OS and then there's the iPhone OS. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that, Bob, for that correction. Okay. So, Carol Gear and Carol Sauceda and Jennifer. Okay. And which ones are you guys? Carol Gears in Monterey. Sauceda is in Jennifer Parsonson's in Monterey, and you're in Catalina. Okay. And I'll show you now a little bit why that matters, that I'm doing this. Now, everyone else said either Sequoia or Ventura. I don't see anyone on Sonoma. So you're in Sequoia or Ventura. Sequoia or Ventura. Okay. Has everyone answered? Maysan has answered. Diane, what's happening with you? Have you answered? I'm not seeing the answer on the chat, and I'm not seeing a yes. So what's up, Diane? Were you able to find it, or do you need some help finding the operating system? And your sound is off. So if you're speaking to me, I can't hear you. Diane? Hello? Oh, Larry said yes. Okay. Okay, you found it. And what is it? I don't see it written. Do I? Did I miss it? In the chat, Larry said yes. So can you write down if it's Sequoia or whatever it might be? Is Larry not around today? Is it just you, Diane? Or is he in the background somewhere?
His, Larry's self says LS.
Okay. Yeah, but it's Diane writing it. Okay, it's Sequoia. Okay, you guys have Sequoia. All right, so Sequoia is the latest one. It's the one that I'm demoing. Let me show you. We are going to, I don't want to spend too much time right now going into the class handouts with everyone. So I'm going to do it just to show you the process. And then when I do need you all to go to the class handouts, we can do it together. But I'm going to go ahead and open Safari, which is what I just did. And I'm going to write my.sbcc.edu, just so you see that once you get accustomed to it, it's a pretty, you know, simple-ish process. And I'm going to go in. Then I'm going to go over here on the left side. I'm going to find Gmail. There's a different way that I showed that is in the recording that I showed Sue at the end of class. But as long as the Gmail works, then I'm going to go over here to the drive. So that's 4 clicks by now. And then over here to the shared drives. And I have a ton of shared drives because I teach using, you know, these are all the classes I teach, but you should see Mac Intro Level 1 and 2. And I open that. There we go. So here I am. Now, this here is a whole bunch of handouts that I have for you. And one of the ones that I want to show you right now is the operating systems. So over here, Mac OS versions, upgrade, Sequoia. I'm going to double click on that one. And here I have a list of all the operating systems per year. So the newest and the latest one is Mac OS Sequoia, and that's why it's called 15. Now notice that it doesn't say 15.5 like the one that my computer has said 15.5. A few of you guys said that you're in Sequoia 15.2, Monterey 12.7. Like people gave me numbers like that. And I'll explain that in a minute. But this is the one that came out in 2024. So this year, and they usually come out between September and November, not always in October, but something like that. The new one comes out. But it's interesting, and I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but notice that in 2024, macOS Sequoia 15 came out. In 2023, macOS Sonoma 14 came out. That's the one that no one today is on Sonoma. And then in 2022, macOS Ventura came out, which is also 13. Like two or three of you guys said you're on Ventura. And then whenever I said people on the older system, and it was the one that I have, which is Monterey, and Jennifer and Carol Gear on Monterey. And then we skip again Big Sur, and then Carol Saucedas on Catalina, which is from 2019. Now you guys can see that between 2019 and 2024, I mean, in our lives, it's quite a bit, but in the lives of a computer, 5 years is like astronomical, right? Like we're changing from the Pleistocene to, I mean, it's crazy how much happened in the last 5 years. So if you're on Catalina, there's some things that I'm going to be showing you that won't work for you, but it's still a perfectly usable computer and it's still a perfectly usable system as long as it does what you need it to do for you, right? So I'm not saying you have to buy a new computer, you have to upgrade. No, no, no. Now, when I say buy a new computer, you could have bought your computer in 2019, but already have Ventura OS on it or Sequoia on it, because the systems that you purchased is the hardware. The computer you have in front of you that you can touch, that's the hardware. And the software that runs it is Mac OS, and it can the operating system can be upgraded. You can just change the operating system on your computer to run the newer version. So it doesn't matter that you bought your computer in 2020. You don't need to stick with macOS Big Sur. If you bought it in 2020 and your computer can handle it, you could have upgraded all the way to Sonoma or to Sequoia. Does that make sense? So it's this upgrade that we need to see if it's worth doing for your older computers or not. At some point, your computer can't be upgraded anymore. So if you scroll down on this handout, and later I'll lead everyone to the handout. Right now, I want you guys to understand the handout. I have something that says, which Macs can run macOS Sequoia 15? Because if you bought a computer in 2017, right, which is way down here, your computer cannot run anything past Monterey.
Yeah.
Someone's joining us. Hold on. Let me let them in. Okay. So I can't tell right now because I'm sharing my screen who joined us, but whoever just joined us, if you can say who you are, that'll be great. And if not, when I stop sharing, I'll check in with you. Okay. So so if you bought your computer in 2020, you might be able to go up for sure to Monterey, and in fact, you might be able to go up to Sequoia. How do you know? Well, down here, it's telling you which Macs can run 15 Sequoia. And over here, it's telling you if you have an iMac 2019 and later meaning newer, then you can run the latest operating system. Then you can do Sequoia. If you have a iMac 2018, so it's older than 2019, then you cannot run, your computer just won't upgrade to Sequoia, right? It might only upgrade to Ventura or to Monterey. That's up to each place. So when you go down here, which Macs can run Sonoma? Which one can run Ventura? Which one can run Monterey? I left you links. So I'm going to click on which Macs can run Monterey, for example, and I'm going to click over here and it'll take me to all the Macs that are compatible with Monterey. So if, for example, Carol, you're on Catalina, which is older than Monterey. If your computer falls into any of these, then you could upgrade up to Monterey. Does that make sense, you guys? And let me go back here. We'll talk now about how do you know if you can upgrade? What does upgrading mean? Is it worth upgrading and all that? But the important thing is that there's a big line drawn. There was a big line drawn here and I colored it gray. I should probably update this handout to draw a line here on Monterey, because here again, a lot of older computers can stop at Monterey and go no further. For example, my old computer that I'm sharing, it cannot upgrade farther than Monterey. And that's the last, I'll never go past Monterey. But then if it's a bit newer, then you can go up to Ventura, Sonoma, or Sequoia. So two or three of you guys said you're in Ventura. The question is, can you upgrade to Sonoma or Sequoia or not? And if so, should you or shouldn't you? So we're going to have a bit of that conversation right now. But most importantly, I have heard, okay, in the past 2001, look at how old when all this started. Sometimes they would skip 2 or 3 years before there was a big upgrade. So here they upgraded between 2003 and 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009. It wasn't every year. But for many years now, every year there's a new one. See how 2012, 2013, 2015, 2016, see how it's every year. So what I have heard through the grapevine, and I do not know if it's true, but it would seem that the next one coming out this year, they're going to stop following these numbers. See how they went from 10, 11, 12? And for a while, they called them 10, 11, 10, 12, 12, 13. Then they're going to stop and they're going to start calling them by the year. So like supposedly the newest one that comes out after Sequoia this year is going to be whatever it is, and it'll be called 25 instead of 15. They're going to jump to 25, and they're going to do that with the iOS for the iPad and for the phone, so that all the things from 2025 will be the year 25. I've heard that. I don't know if it's happening. Apple still has to confirm whether that's happening, but it might make things easier, because right now it's like name, number, year. It's like, just too many things to follow. Now, what these 3 little numbers here are, 11.3.1. Or in your case, if you have Sequoia 0.5 or Sequoia 0.5, 15.2 or 15.5, those are just updates. And if you are on Sequoia 15.0, for example, Meson, then you should update to 15.5. Why? Because between 15 and 15.5, there have been fixes. And most of those fixes are to viruses and stuff. And so that's an update. You're not changing the whole system, you're just updating. So the first one that came out was 15.0. Then they sent a little correction because of a bug or a virus, and it became 15.1. Then they sent another one, it was 15.2. Someone else here said they were on 15.2. Kate said she's on 15.2. Then another one came out, and then it's 15.4 and so on and so forth. The latest one, I have latest one is 15.5, and it might go on to 15.8, 15.12, whatever, before we get to the place where it becomes the new version, which is have a different name, macOS, who knows what, and they might call it 16 or 2025. So those little points means that maybe something is not completely updated on yours. Okay, that's what that extra little numbers mean. All right, I've been talking for quite a while. I don't like to talk nonstop, but this was like a whole explanation of the whole system. Now we're gonna put this into practice and show you where you can see all this on your computer. But any questions about this, about how this thing works and what this is for and how come, just any question that come into mind. This would be a good time. I'm going to stop my share for a minute so you can see me. Any questions about everything I've just explained? Whatever.
I have one. Is it best to upgrade step by step? In other words, suppose you just had this.
Let me stop you for a minute. You can't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going to let you answer the whole question.
Okay.
Because I know once the new operating system comes out, you have to jump. So like the people who are in Ventura, they can't upgrade to Sonoma.
Okay.
If their computer can run Sequoia, they have to upgrade to Sequoia. Now, if your computer cannot run Sequoia because it's one of the ones that's not on the list, but it can run Sonoma, then it'll give you the option to upgrade to Sonoma, and it'll stop there because you're stopped. You can't go further to Sequoia. But if you have a computer that can upgrade to Sequoia, it doesn't give you this choice for Sonoma anymore. If you skipped, you skipped, which is why I always recommend moving up. Not immediately, not the moment, not in November when it comes out, but by January when everything is running, and by January, February, when all the bugs have been handled, then it's time to move up. Because if you don't, and then you wait 2 and 3 times, by the time you jump, you have to jump 2 or 3 operating systems, and by then you will notice the changes, versus if you go gradually, the changes are slight and you barely notice them, but the computer keeps you'll learn 1 new thing, 2 new things instead of 5 or 10 new things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, if your computer can't and it's stopped there, that's the last one it can upgrade to, then fine, you stay there, but don't stay 1 under or 2 under, because, and especially now, especially if you have an iPhone or an iPad or a smartwatch or any all of these devices, they keep upgrading as well. And then something that your phone can do, your computer could do, but you're on an older system, so your computer can't match it. And so then might as well match it and have both your phone and your computer talking. And when I say this, you're all like, I didn't know my computer and my phone could. Yeah, don't worry. That's what this class is all about, understanding the whole system and how things work. Now, I do know, for example, Julie does not have an iPhone. She has an Android. So if she wants to stay in Ventura and not move up, fine. If her computer cannot make it up beyond Ventura, fine. But if her computer could make it up to Sonoma or Sequoia, I would go, well, let's see. And is it worth it? How old is your computer? Because as you move forward, before, computers used more. It was harder to change operating system because an older computer wouldn't run as well. Now, actually, computers run better as you upgrade because they have less bugs. And so as long as your computer can upgrade, it is recommended to upgrade. So is anyone else here? And I'm going to clear your answers right now. Is there anyone else here who does not have an iPhone, basically, who has an Android? Other than Julie. And oh, Patricia, that's true. Patricia also has an Android. So that's you too. Anyone else? Nope. Okay. Then for Patricia and Julie, there are things that the whole like Mac OS and the iCloud environment that we're going to begin to study won't matter because their phones just don't pick it up. But for the rest of you guys who have iPhones, then it does matter to make sure that your phones and your computers are able to connect to each other as we move along. You'll understand more why. And yeah, so now how to upgrade. So now the question is, okay, so this is all great conversation. By the way, any other question other than Georgia's before I go on to how to upgrade? Yes, Carol?
Mine says automatically keep my Mac up to date. So, but that does not
Great,
mean
and you're in Catalina.
upgrades.
So
I'm in Catalina.
so then in your, let me share. So your computer, see this little portion here that says mine, it says iMac Retina late 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That is how old, or the age of my computer, and it cannot upgrade past Monterey. What does yours say? How old is it?
Hold
What
on.
model and age is yours?
It's MacBook Pro 16-inch 2019.
2019. It should be a 2019 should be able to move past Catalina. Who were you on Catalina, or were you on Monterey?
I'm on Catalina.
Now that seems wrong, but let me see. Hold on to that. And I might be wrong, but that seems wrong because the 2019
Yeah, that according to that in the MacBook Pro.
Pro,
Yeah.
MacBook Pro 2018 and later, MacBook Pro, that's your model, 2019. You should be able to run 15, and you're in Catalina?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So when it says automatically keep my Mac up to date, should it have upgraded automatically?
Yes, but you still have to give it a yes. So now I'm going to go into that portion of things. And
Okay.
so hang in there, because then I will
Yeah.
see what's
Okay.
happening there, because
Okay.
that is, I was expecting you to say 2012, which a 2012 computer is still running just fine, you guys. Macs are pretty good, as long as you treat them well, they treat you well and they keep running. But when you said 2019, because yes, the 2012 wouldn't be able to go past Catalina, but definitely it should be up all the way up even to Sequoia, which will make a big difference to you. So let me share my screen again now. And now I'm gonna minimize this. So how do we find out? Now, again, this is only for the people who are in the Ventura. Here, let me show this one last time. So when I explain why. Ventura, Sonoma, Sequoia. Okay. Basically, these three that are newer than Monterey, they all look the same. And then Monterey, Big Sur, Catalina, Mojave, these all look the same. When I say look, remember that I showed two ways that it would look when you go to About This Mac. From here down, all the old stuff, which at this point is only an issue for Carol, and Jennifer, you have system preferences, not system settings. Mac OS, Sequoia, Sonoma, and Ventura have system settings, and those two things are different. For a while, a few people had changed and I had to show both. Now we're always getting to the point that I only have one or two people left that are in this thing. I have a feeling that by next year, I won't really need to be demoing the old version anymore, because most people will have moved on. And when I teach at school in September, I won't have a computer that has the old operating system anymore. Like I literally won't have one there. Here I can keep demoing it, but in the fall, I will only have the newer system set up. So that's kind of when I don't know how I'm going to do when people still have older versions. We'll have to figure that one out. But at some point, for a computer to stop at Monterey, it needs to be kind of like a computer that was purchased in these years, like that, like 2012 to 2017, or even 2012 to 2016. But if yours is 2019, Carol, then you should be able to move up. So how do we do that? So when I say I'm about to demo how it looks for the newer computers, I mean for people who have Ventura, Sonoma, or Sequoia. When I say I'm going to go show on the old computer, then I'm talking about Monterey, Big Sur, and Catalina. Does that make sense? So whenever I say I'm on the old computer now, Jennifer and the two Carols, pay attention. Whenever I say newer computer, everyone else pay attention. Okay. So now everyone else pay attention because this is the newer system. I'm going to go over here to system settings. So I'm going to do it by going to the Apple and opening the system settings. When I click on system settings, the system settings opens up. Go ahead and do that, everyone. Now, another way to get to system settings is that on the dock, if on the dock you have this little icon that has gears and you click on it once, that's also your system settings. Okay. So right now, everyone should have their system settings opened up. Everyone should have their system settings opened up. I'm going to show you how to do that one more time, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on the old system. So again, Apple system settings, and then, or go to your icon, system settings. Okay. I'm going to clear your answers, and I want everyone who has their system settings open to give me a yes. Meanwhile, now I'm going to go to the old computer, and I'm going to share how to open the system preferences. All right. So you go, this is now Monterey and older. So Carol's and Jennifer. Go to the Apple and open system preferences. See how the word settings doesn't exist? In the old version, it used to be preferences. So we're going to open system preferences, and they look like this. See how they look quite different? So both Carol's and Jennifer, this is what you need to open, the system preferences. And again, maybe you go to your dock and find the same icon, and it's called system preferences, and you open it up, and it should be open right there. I'm going to stop my share, and now I expect everyone to have opened their system settings or system preferences, which is the same thing. It just has a different name on the older systems. And I want yeses everywhere or no's. And if you say no, then that means you need help, and I'll give you a hand. So remember that you always need to say yes or no to me. If you don't say yes or no, then I'm going to one-on-one start asking each person, okay, how can I help you? Oh, by the way, there you are. Afra, I haven't seen you show up. It's because your name is not there. There we go. Afra, I was sharing. I'm going to change your name. There we go. So now you're there. So nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. I didn't know that your classes start. Bob told me.
Well, I sent you the email. It's on, you're getting the emails because I know you're on the roster. So you should check your email. But okay. I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you didn't miss much because last class, you know all the stuff that I taught last class. So you're good.
Bob.
All right. And thank you, Bob, for letting Afra know that class was running and getting him onto the
Yep.
class.
Sure, no problem.
All right, guys. So Jennifer, I don't see a yes or a no. Did you open your system preferences?
Yes.
Okay, good. Kate and Diane and Yolanda, if I don't see you saying yes, I don't know if you're not there or if you're not finding it. And so I'm always going to ask you. So Diane, did you open your system settings? Give me a yes or a no, or speak up. And Diane, remember that your sound is off so that I can't hear you. If you guys don't connect to sound with one of yours, then you can begin to have your sound on all the time. Then you don't have to always be muted. Okay. So, okay, I see that you've unmuted. So go ahead and speak. Yeah.
Okay, my old computer says it High Sierra.
Okay. And the new one is the Sequoia. So we're
Right.
going to deal with Sequoia. Whenever I show things of to Carol and Jennifer, then you can look at your old computer and follow through on that one as well. But let's assume that I'm going to teach you how to use your Sequoia one. And then you'll, by the way, learn how to use the old one by looking at what they're doing as well. Okay?
Okay.
Cool. You're welcome. All right. So do you want to make life easier for yourself and not have to turn your sound on and off? You can go and take the sound off of one of both of yours. Do you want me to show you how to do that?
Diana?
It was a bit harder with the phone, but since you have two computers, I can show you right now how to do that.
Sure.
Okay, so go to the audio button on one of them. I don't care which.
What's the other?
Okay, on the bottom left where it says audio. That place, same place where you mute and unmute yourself from.
Yeah.
Okay, now see a tiny little triangle to the right of that button?
Yes.
Click on that. And then from the bottom up, the second choice is leave computer audio. So if you do that on the main computer, then you need to unmute yourself on the other one. You need to have yourself unmuted on one of them, or you need to leave computer audio on one of them. Okay? And then you can stay always on audio and you won't have to be muting and unmuting yourself. So did you find that?
I found it, but I prefer to turn on and off.
No, Georgia, you wouldn't do that. That's
Okay.
only for people who have two devices.
Okay.
You,
I
you turn yourself on and off when you are yourself, but if you have two devices, you have to leave computer audio on one of them
okay.
because otherwise you get that sound that we hear when Diane talks. But that is, it's only appropriate for her to know, or Sue who has two devices, anyone, Bob who has two devices. The rest of you, it's just mute and unmute, okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so most of you guys have answered yes, so that means that you all have your.
I am lost.
Okay, so all I had is as open system preferences. Sorry, in your case, system settings. So
Well, where I was, it says a general. That's only where
Yeah.
and it,
yeah,
am
that's
I-
fine. That's where you need to be. I'm going to share mine
General?
right now. Hold on. This is my system settings. Okay, and see how I'm in general. That's good. That's where you need to be. And if you're in system settings anywhere else now, guys, move over and click on the word general on the left side. So on the system settings preference, system settings box, on the left side, there's a column. And I can scroll up and down that column separately from whatever shows up here. And as I scroll up and down that column, I'm doing it with my either two fingers on my touchpad up and down very gently. If you guys own a mouse, then it's only one finger up and down on the mouse with my mouse over here. Now, if my mouse is over here, it moves this up and down, right? If my mouse is over here, it moves this up and down. So you have to put your mouse over the area that you're trying to scroll. So over here, I'm scrolling the sidebar. When I move my mouse and click on, say, battery, the right side looks different. When I click on accessibility, the right side looks different. So this is our menu. We click on screensaver. The screensaver stuff shows up in the middle. And then if I put my mouse over here and scroll up and down, it'll scroll because it's on this side. If I move it over here, it'll scroll up and down over here. So now I want us all to click on general. And then we will be seeing the general information. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to show people on the old system how to get to the same place. So now I'm going to show Jennifer, Carol, and Carol how we're going to do this. So here's the news on you guys, and why I'm sharing everything is because the system preferences on the old version does not tell you how to upgrade or update. You don't have, if you go to general right here, this doesn't tell you how to upgrade or update. But how it works on the old system, you guys, is that when you click on something, the whole screen changes, and then you need to go back. And then you go to desktop and screensaver, the whole thing changes, and then you need to go back. I prefer going back with this icon. So then I go to, say, energy saver, and then I need to go back. This one is show all the messages again. So then I go back, et cetera, et cetera. So if you guys go to general, there's a general there, but the general in this system preference is different than the general in the system settings. So where we look at updates on the old systems is different. You need to do it over here. And how did it get to this window? This was the Mac, about this Mac, where we read what our operating system was. So for you guys, Carol, and Jennifer, or Diane on her second computer, you need to go to the word software update. Click on software update. So this is only for Carol, Jennifer, and Diane on her second computer. There we go. And then you get to this place that says your Mac is up to date, because this computer cannot go past macOS Monterey 12.7.6. There's nothing left for it to do. That's it. Until it dies, it'll be stuck here. It's up to date. Okay. Now, Carol Sauceda, have you found this? And does it say that your Mac is up to date? Because this is the part that's a little bit strange, that yours shouldn't be saying that. So Carol Sauceda, are you there?
Yeah, it does not, it says, system update. And it says upgrade now to Sequoia.
Okay, good. All right. So then here's the deal. In your case, and listen, everyone else, close your ears for this one. I'm just talking to Carol Sauceda. You probably have it turned on here that you somehow, one of these guys, it says check for updates or something, but maybe you didn't install it or something like that. This might be turned off, which is fine. And that's probably why it didn't update. So here's what I'm going to say. Do not do this right now, or we will be disconnected for the entirety of the class, right? So
Right.
today, follow the class, right? Continue with the class. And then at the end of the class, remind me, I'll bring you back to this, okay? And
Okay.
then when the class is over, go ahead, click on that and let it run. And by the time it starts up again, you will be in Sequoia. And from then on, you will be following the class with the side of the group that it looks like the other way. Does that make sense?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, thank
But
you.
don't do it right now or you're
Okay,
out of
Yeah,
here.
right.
Okay. Now,
stay ready.
Carol Gear, what does yours say? Does it say that yours is up to date?
Yes.
And like mine, it's done. That's all it can do?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, it says your Mac is up to date. It doesn't say there's an update available.
That's correct.
Okay, good. So that's it. That's as far as your computer can go. And we're going to love it and enjoy it and use it until at some point, if you ever choose to update.
Oh,
because
I'm
that's
buying a
it.
new one. I'm gonna go down this week. I'll go
Oh,
look.
you are going to get a new one. Okay, so we're going to have a little Mac baby next week. All right, that's good to know.
Okay, hopefully.
So whenever you come in, whenever the stork comes in, let me know and then I'll help you get adapted to your new version. All right, how about Jennifer Parsons? Where are you? What does yours say?
Mac is up to date.
All right, so just like me, you've reached the end of the line as far as updating your software. That's fine. As I said, no problem until you get to the point where you want your computer to do something that it can't do right now, or if it starts failing or whatever. But at this point, you don't need to do anything else with this because that's all you can do. Your Mac is stopped.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. I'm going to stop that share and I'm going to go back to everyone else. So how about everyone else? Everyone else is in this system settings. And under general, it says about and software update. About would be the same thing that we just did about this Mac. I'm going to click on it and it'll basically show you again. It's what type of computer it is. It's the Apple 1M Pro memory. It's a MacBook Pro 16-inch 2021 version Sequoia. So it has a bit more information than the original one. So that's good. That's fine. Now, I want to go back. How do I go back? Well, go over here and click on this little arrow because under general, there's many choices, many choices. So if you go into one of them, now you need to go back to the other choices of general. So you use this little arrow and now you're back into all of the general choices. We're going to spend a lot of time in this menu here. So I want you to get accustomed to it because a lot of what we do today in the Mac intro to the Mac has to do with the general preferences. So now I want to go to software update and we're going to click on software update. And it says checking for updates. And by the way, it says your Mac is running the latest software allowed by your organization. This is a school computer. That's why it says that. For you guys, it will just say that it's up to date or something like that. And then I have automatic updates on. We're going to talk about that. Does anyone see here something saying that you have an update available? So is everyone here? Did you make it to your software updates? I'm gonna, hold on. I'm going to switch how I see you guys up here. here we go. So I can see you. Okay, I'm gonna clean your answer. Give me a sec because I'm having to do a cleanup from the other computer. Okay, and now I'm ready to go. All right. So if your computer says that it's up to date, no matter that it's a old version or new version, if it says your computer is up to date, it's running the latest software, give me a yes. If it says that you can upgrade, there's an upgrade available or an update available, then give me a no, like you're not up to date. And then we'll talk about whether it's worth it or not to update. Should you not, all that kind of stuff. So no means that you do have an update available. And yes means, yep, I'm as updated as I can go. Okay. So give me, instead of writing in the chat, Diane, which is fine, can you give me a yes or a no in the green or red emojis? That's easier than to look. So Afra, does your computer say that you are up to date? Yolanda, does it say you're up to date? Diane, okay, so those awesome thumbs up that just went through, they disappeared, and so now it doesn't look like there's an answer. So right under those cool little thumbs up, then you'll see the yes green check mark or no red X. Can you see them? It's always fun to see those little thumbs flying by. But then when I look away and look back, there's no answer. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for finding them, Diane. Okay. Georgia, how about you? Are you up to date or not? Your sound is off. So if you're, I see your mouth moving, which means you're probably trying to speak to me, but I can't hear you. You keep, your mouth keeps, there we go.
All right. Yes, I am up to date.
Okay, so give me a yes. Perfect. So guys, Afra, do you know how to, have you gotten to the place where you can check? Last time I saw your computer, you were like in Ventura or something. Are
I
you,
was Sonoma. I was Sonoma.
you're in Sonoma?
I was, but I think
Okay. So Sonoma is fine, but your computer can probably go up to Sequoia if necessary, because I remember you had a pretty new computer. Did you find how to do this? Did you open your system preferences?
Yes, we did that for him.
Okay, so software update, go ahead and click on that. By the way, I want to let you all know, because this is awesome what Bob does. Okay, Bob, say hi, put on your video for a second and wave to everyone.
Okay.
So Bob here, right there, he is he goes to
Volunteer.
he goes to the, is it the library, the Goleta or the Goleta
The Santa Barbara Central Library,
Central Library, because there's two
volunteer tech coach.
So Bob goes to the Santa Barbara main library and he is a tech coach there. If you have questions and you need help, go to Bob, go to the main library. There's different tech coaches, different days. He's always there helping. And that's how he and Afra met. And he helps Afra with his computer a lot. And then Bob comes over here, keeps up to date, and then keeps sharing the wealth to the rest of the world. So just so you know, when I'm not around, Bob's there and other tech coaches at the main library. And I think Goleta Community Center has something like that too. Not sure if they're still following the program. They did in a while. So thanks, Bob, for all you do for everyone.
Oh, you're welcome. It's
Letting
fun.
you guys know that he's there and available for that. Okay. But
And I
anyway,
do it, it's free too.
oh, and it's free. Yes, that's true. It's a service that our library provides, and people, volunteers like Bob, go and do that, and you're wonderful, and thank you so much. That's why he said, yes, we did that with Afra, because he supports Afra at the library. Okay, guys. Where were we? I think everyone has answered. Good. So Carol, Yolanda, and Maysan are the only ones who said no. I believe Kate, but now she switched to be right back, but Kate also had a no. So Maysan, Kate, Yolanda, and Carol. So say that. Carol, we already talked about, you're going to upgrade. Yolanda, you might want to talk to your son about whether you want to upgrade or not, because he'll help you with your computer. So that leaves Maysan and Kate. Kate, who's not here, and Maysan. Maysan, do you want to upgrade or update or
Yeah,
not?
yes, I already set up to update
You set it
tonight
up to go.
to
Alright, and what-
15.5.
And the reason she's saying that is because over here, where it says, in my case, it says nothing. If you do have an update available, you can tell it update now, which then you can't follow the class, or you can say update later, update tonight when you're sleeping. And so she clicked on update tonight and then she'll go to bed and then in the morning it'll be updated. Okay. Now, I don't know if Carol can do that in the older system. That's why I said just you start it later, but maybe it's possible to say update tonight in the older computer too. And Yolanda, I'll let you have ask your son if he can help you update it so that you are in the latest one, okay? All right, so that means that everyone, now, why is it important to update? Because an update and upgrade used to be different words. Now they're all called software update. So it's kind of confusing because before it used to be very easy to tell the difference between an upgrade and an update. And an upgrade is when you change from a whole new operating system to another. And remember when I talk about operating system, what am I talking about is I'm talking about this. Give me a second. About this one. When you went from Ventura to Sonoma, Sonoma to Sequoia, Monterey, Big Sur, this is a big change in your computer and it's a big deal. And that's what Carol's going to do. She's going to go from Catalina to Sequoia. So the whole computer, it takes quite a while to do that. And the computer turns off, turn on, but you do nothing. You just press a button and you walk away. When it's done, it'll ask you to sign in again and that kind of stuff. And then it's ready. But a lot has changed in the background. And you might have different, like in this case, the system preferences is turning into system settings and stuff like that. But these little numbers, the 15.2, 15.3, 15.5, which right now is what Meisan has to do. She has 15.0 and the latest one is 15.5. Those are what we used to just call updates. And again, it's little changes. It's the same system. Nothing big is going to change, but things are being fixed in the background, mainly security. There's a virus that came out and there's a security update, and you want to keep up to date with those security updates. So how do you know? So how do you change it so that you don't have to do that each time, that you don't have to always be checking? Then we're going to go here in the automatic updates. If you have it set up for that, there's this little I for info. Let's everyone click on that. And then you will have choices. Download new updates whenever they're available. Install Mac updates. Install application updates from App Store or install security systems and system files. I normally have this one turned off. And see, I want to turn it off and watch again. These are big deal changes, whether I want an update or not. I don't want the update to happen without my knowledge. I want to give it a yes. If that's so, then I'm going to turn it off. Now, I actually do think that application updates and all should be on, but say that you choose to turn it off, then the computer's like, who are you to say this to me? And it's asking for my password. This password is you giving the computer permission to say, this is me. This isn't my little grandchild, my 5-year-old who's pressing buttons and who's about to mess up my computer. This is me. I know my computer password. And this computer password is the same one that when you use when you open up your computer. So I'm going to go ahead and put my password in here, unlock, and see now it allowed me to make that change. Okay. But without the password, it wouldn't have made that change. And some of the settings here are going to need us to say, yeah, it's me, password. I am allowing that change. And some of them are going to be done just because it's not a big deal. If you change the color of the background, it won't leave your password. But in this case, it needs a password. So I'm going to turn it on again because I do want it to stay on. And turning it on, it doesn't say, oh, I need your password. But turning it off, it certainly needed it. Does that make sense? So that's where if you keep this on, then it'll keep you updated to the latest. If you want to say that you want to update it when you're open to it, then you need to turn it off. And then that's the choice that you're going to have. Okay. Sue, I saw that you raised your hand for a question and now you turned it off again. Is your question answered? You don't have a question anymore? Okay. All right. Good.
Yes.
So
Diana, I
See?
have a question. When I turn off download new updates, it automatically goes to install Mac OS updates. So it's the same thing, Diana?
Mac OS update.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, when I turn off one, it goes to the second one.
Yeah.
The third one. Okay.
Yeah, it just kind of a lot of the choices in a computer you'll notice are and I'm going to leave mine off so that if another update comes up within the next 2 weeks, you guys will see it, because when you don't have that turned on, then what happens is that the computer here warns you. You'll see when you turn on your system preferences, it'll say there's an update available, and it'll come up right here where my mouse is moving. It'll just show you, hey, there's an update available. So then you'll go, oh, okay, and you'll click and you'll update. So it'll warn you that there's available, but it's up to you to update it versus having it happen automatically. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
But one thing you'll notice is that these systems change. Before, buttons were buttons, and if they were there, they were there, and if they weren't, they weren't, and it was kind of pretty clear. But now, one thing that's interesting is, let me just actually move this behind the scenes. 1 second. My mouse is moving off. Here we go. It used to be that buttons were stiff. How do you call it? Fixed, never changed. Now, remember, Patricia just asked, when I turn this off, this changes. When I turn it on, this changes. Now buttons are very much more live. They're called live preview buttons, in which they respond to your needs. If there's a need for it to say something, it'll change, and you might come up next time and discover that there's 2 things here warning you that your account needs to be updated, and then when you update it, they disappear. So systems change. You know what I'm trying to say? Instead of like being fixed and that they don't change. You might have something here that I don't, and then once you say okay to it, then it goes away, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah. Once you said no to that, then the button changed to say something else. All right.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find the word, and the word is not coming to my lips right now. What the word is for that name of those buttons. They're contextual. Thank you. Contextual buttons. So depending on the context and the needs, they will change and will say what you need it to say. So they're contextual buttons right now. There we go. I found it. I just knew I needed to find that word. Yes, Georgia?
My screen says on software update says your Mac is up to date. I wanted to check to see exactly what I had on automatic. Well, my automatic updates bar says Mac OS updates and security responses, but I don't seem to change anything. I mean, I can't seem to.
So let's do this. Why don't you share your screen? And this is the perfect example. When there's just settings that are just different, they don't look like mine, and I don't know, then I need to see them. And so remember, we practiced at the beginning of last class how to share your screen. So I will support you each time until it's second nature to you. All right, so go to the share button and then click share again.
Okay.
Bottom.
I click share, and then it
And
does.
at the bottom, there's another share, blue button with white letters.
What? Yes.
There you go. Perfect. Now, perfect. Now I'm seeing your screen. Okay. So it says automatic updates. So where it says macOS updates and security responses, right under your Mac is up to date.
Yeah.
It says automatic updates. Put your mouse there. Okay. Now follow it all the way to the end of the line where there's a little eye in a circle.
Oh, okay.
Click on that. There we go. And this is where you find those choices. So you have install application updates from the App Store turned off.
Okay.
Let me explain what that one is, and then you can choose to leave it off or on. Mac OS updates is what we've been talking about, the operating system. Does it need to be updated or not? Application updates is, say that you purchased Microsoft Office, Excel, Word, for example, and there's an update. Then automatically it'll update to the newest version if you have this on. If you don't have this on, you will keep using the version you have, and at some point you'll notice that it's old and you'll update it yourself. So this is up to you. If you purchased anything from the Apple Store, and basically anything you add to your computer that is not with it when you buy it, you would have purchase it from the Apple Store, even if it's free. So there's a class I teach next week. In fact, if anyone here is interested, I still have a few spots. The iLife class, which is where I teach you how to handle all your photos that are on your Mac, on your phone, on your iPad. When I teach people how to use the video portion, a lot of people don't have the iMovie installed. They need to go get it from the App Store and install it. It's free. It's part of what you can install, but you have to get it from the App Store, even if you pay $0 for it, right? So anything you've installed that is not, and I'm seeing things on your dock that look like they're not, like you have Premiere. So you have stuff here. Premiere is different because it gets updated through the iCloud, for the Adobe Cloud. But I see that you have other stuff installed here. That stuff won't be upgraded automatically. I see you have WordPress unless you have updates, automatic updates from the App Store. So it's up to you. If you, otherwise, you need to go to the App Store app, which you can, and every now and then check for updates over there. And that's fine too. But you need to, it's like, do you want the computer to do it for you, or do you want to have to do it yourself? And depending, some people are like, oh God, no, let the computer do it. And other people are like, no, I'm good enough about updating. I'll do it myself when I want to. So you know yourself and you know whether you should or not have that turned on. But if you do change it to turn on, it won't ask you for your password. But if you try to turn it off, like say that you want to turn off the one above it, then it'll ask you for your password. Okay.
Okay. So if I want my extra things to turn on automatically,
then you need to turn that little slider on.
Okay.
Yeah. So just by clicking on it. And if you decide you don't, you unclick it. It's not a big deal. There's decisions that
don't know.
You're like, I don't know. I didn't like that. And so then you just turn it off, right? So go ahead and turn it on for a second and you'll see
Right.
And it'll ask you for your password, just your computer password. Good. And now you go, "Oh, I'm not sure I like that decision." Go turn it off. It's just such a simple choice. So you don't need to go, this is a big decision. It's not such a big decision. It's just like turn it on or off and then remember to come and turn it off again if you don't like it. Does that make sense, you guys?
Okay.
There's some sliders that I'm going to tell you, do not turn them on or off unless you really know what you're doing. And I will warn you about those. But this isn't one of them. This one is just, well, if you turn it off, it won't update. If you turn it on, it will. Now, if you don't, then you have to go and find the updates. Okay. Do you know how to find the updates? Otherwise?
I don't think so, although it does.
Well, go ahead and let me show, because this is part of this class. So say done for a second. Let me show you guys, if you have any apps installed that are not the ones that came with the Mac, and some of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about because you've never installed anything, and others are like, oh yeah, I have like 5 or 10 other things. Then what you need to do is, let's go over here to the Apple icon, and everyone go to your Apple icon, because everyone's going to do this just to see what we're talking about. Okay. And you're going to go right under the system settings is the App Store. And stop for a minute. Look, it already says that there's one update there. It even is warning you.
I see that.
Okay. So go to the App Store, and everyone, guys, go to the App Store. Okay. And at the bottom of the App Store, there's always the choice for updates. And it's telling you that your Capital One shopping extension has an update. Now, if you're interested in it and you're using it, fine. If you're not, you don't. But you would have to come and click on update, and in the background, it'll happen. That's as hard as that. So if you don't want the things to happen automatically, you just need to keep checking here for updates. Does that make sense, you guys?
Okay. So
and this one won't start.
Update something. Is it going to disturb my connection to you?
No, in this case, not at all, because it's not the operating system. If you press update right now, somewhere in the background, it's an extension to one of your browsers.
Yeah.
And it'll update and you won't even notice it, and it'll happen in the background. Every now and then there's a line here that says, in order to do this update, we need to restart your computer. And it's usually the security updates. And so if so, that means that if you do press update to that one, it'll restart your computer, which in this case, it would have interrupted the Zoom. But it would say that. right? So otherwise, if you just press update, it just happens and there it is already done. The fact that you could already open it if you want to. And when you're done, you go to the App Store and quit and you're done. That's how easy an update was of an application that's been downloaded. Does that make sense? And now go say quit App Store and you're set. And now if you were to go back right now to your App Store here, go to your Apple and say App Store, notice that it won't say there's an update available. See, because you've done it. There's no update available. Does that make
Right.
sense, you guys?
Yes.
Okay. Did that work for anyone else? Did anyone else find any updates available there? And guys, it's fine to say yes or no. And it's also fine to say, I didn't understand. Can you explain that again? Just because I helped Georgia and she got it doesn't mean that everyone needs to have gotten it. And this is the time to go, can you show me that again? Can you show me that on my computer? Because I didn't follow. So since a lot of people don't want to speak out, it's easy for me to say, okay, if that worked, if you checked your apps and you either don't have updates or you updated, give me a yes, all is good. If you either don't know how to check your apps, your app store, or you didn't follow and you need help, give me a no. And then I'll just go, okay, Jennifer, let me show you how to help you. Okay, Diane. Okay, Patricia, and it's very simple. I'll give you a hand and we'll keep going. Like what's simple is telling me that you need help. I don't know that doing it is simple or not. I'm not saying that it's simple to do it. I'm saying telling me you need help is simple. Just give me a no. Got it? A no means, I think I need some help with this. If you say yes because you don't want to interrupt the process, then you leave the class not knowing how to do it. It's up to you. You can do that as well, but it doesn't make sense to me because that's why you're in class. All right. So Jennifer, I see that you put in the chat the word I need help. Sometimes I miss the chat. I have to say, this time I saw it, but sometimes I miss the chat. So it's easier, it's fine to have put that in there. And now I'll ask you what you need, but it's also good to put me a little red X. Unless you forgot how to do that, then it's actually, then I always see the red X's because as I look at the faces, I see it. Okay. All right. So what's up? What can I help you with, Jennifer?
Can I talk?
Yeah.
Okay. I do not know on the preferences. Let me go back to that just a second. I don't even know what I don't know. No, I don't want to leave the meeting.
The app store updates.
Yes, so I went into the App Store one and I got pictures of different apps, I guess.
Yeah,
And
so let
I
me
thought-
share my screen. Yeah, let me share my screen. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So here's my older version, although in the case of the App Store, it doesn't matter so much. But when I go up here, see how it says App Store 3 updates? This is my old computer. So when I click on it, it takes me straight to updates. But if you don't, and so basically it's telling my brother, my printer, and another thing is updated. So say that I don't want to right now do them, that's fine. But if instead I want to do them all, I can just say update all over here, or I can say update each one individually. And they will all happen in the background. So if I click on update, it's just happening and what it's going to need sometimes. In this computer, I haven't used it for a while. So what it's wanting is it's telling me that I need to put in my password because I haven't done this for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my password in there because I changed my password and it didn't remember it. So there you go. I just gave it the new password and that's it. So sometimes you need to put in your password. Oh, I have it set up.
Diana,
Okay.
all I have is
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hold on. I need to put in a code here. See what it's asking? This is a
I
teaching
can't
moment.
see
Wait,
it.
this is a teaching moment. 1 second. 1 second. I'll help you. If you don't see it, 1 second. I got told that I needed to put in a code there. Most of you guys saw that. If you didn't see it, that's okay. What's happened is that my phone received a code and I just had to type it in here because that's how the computer knows that this is me and not someone else using my computer. I just wanted to explain what was happening. Okay. Now I'm ready for your question. I was just trying to explain what was happening there. Yeah.
When I go to the app to purchase or whatever, an app, I don't get any words. I get pictures of
Yeah.
different.
So I was about to talk to that. You're probably up here or here or here or here where you're seeing pictures of things. These are apps that you can buy.
Yeah.
I was all the way down in updates, and it tells you if there's an update or not.
Oh, okay. So I
So if you are here, you're looking for, let me see, work apps. Do I want to buy one of these? Or play apps, these are games. Or discover, and it shows me different things. So these are, it's like going into the store and it's just showing you everything that's available. But I'm not trying to buy any apps. I'm just trying to see if of the apps I own, if there's any updates. So that's down here.
Okay, so let me try that. Let me go to my Apple and to App Store, right?
Mhm.
App Store.
Mhm.
And then there I go. By the way, it's taking up the whole screen, but okay. And then it's trying to load. This is clean up my windows. Okay, and then I think I hit the downward arrow, but nothing happened. Ah, there.
I'm going to stop my share.
Best new apps, the latest must-play games.
Yeah, see, I'm not asking you guys to up any, I'm just wanted you to check for updates. So at the very, very, very bottom, do you see the word updates? And if you don't see the word updates, remember contextual, it could be, and listen well, you might have never downloaded any apps. So there's no updates because you don't have any apps. And so you don't even see the choice for updates. So guys, if you don't see the choice for updates, it's because you've never downloaded any apps that need to be updated. Does that make sense? That's what I mean by a contextual taskbar.
I think I did put some apps in. I'm sure I did.
Right,
So
but it might not have been through the App Store.
I am never coming up with what you're talking about. Report a problem. Welcome to Mac App Store. Add money to your account. I have no idea what that's about.
Yeah, because some of these apps cost money, but just basically it looks like you haven't used the App Store before. So
Oh.
it's giving you all of the welcome, do this, do that to set it up.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I don't necessarily need to teach that plan or want to teach the App Store right now. I'm just showing you updates. So if it's not showing you the need for an update, just for now, ignore it and leave it. Okay? Because that's all this section is me teaching you how to do updates to your computer, to your operating system, or to your apps. Okay? All right, and I've got yeses from everyone else. That means you've all either updated or seen that there's updates available. I'm gonna stop your change your feedback. Okay, great. So basically, the important thing is that you need to have your computer updated to the most it can as far as operating system. Or if you didn't, some of you are going to do upgrades. And when we come to class next Tuesday, if you guys have updated, like Carol, if you have updated, let me know. And anyone who has updated, let me know. I think it's just Carol because Carol Gear and Jennifer are both to the max of what they can do. Then let me know so then I'll know to stop sharing that version of the things with you and to support you with a new one. Okay. So where are we at? Let me come to this computer again. Okay. So any other questions on updates or upgrades before I move on to something else?
The only question I have, this is Georgia. Every time the OS updates, it tells me that it will soon not be able to, I will soon not be able to use my printer. I have an HP LaserJet printer, and it tells me pretty soon I won't be able to go to your, I guess it's to HP. I can't figure out at HP what the hell I'm supposed to do. I don't know if I need a new.
All right, so let me explain to everyone what's up.
Yeah.
So first of all, there is one negative to upgrading or updating, and I normally talk about this and I forgot, and thank you so much for having this question because that lets me bring that up. The one thing that happens when you keep updating and upgrading is that at some point, other devices that you have to your connected to your computer might stop working. So if you have a printer that's 10 years old and you upgrade from Monterey to Ventura, suddenly you can't use your printer anymore. Why? Because that printer now doesn't have the capacity. 10 years ago, they didn't do stuff to it that now it needs for this new computer to be able to run it. And at some point they stop support, when they call supporting it, it's like, okay, we will support equipment that's 5 years old, but we're not going to support equipment that's 10 years old. At some point they stop giving you support for older stuff. If you have, 5 things attached that are really expensive and you're not willing to change them yet, then that's a good reason to not update. Does that make sense? Wait another year, keep yourself at one operating system under for a whole nother year. And then you go, okay, of all the things that I've attached, the only one that really matters is the printer. I'll buy a new printer and then I can upgrade or something like that. But you have to take it in pieces. Now that's really about it. It's usually printers. Now, you say you have an HP. Some printers, it's not about the printer having to be tossed and rebought. Sometimes it's just updating the driver on your printer because HP will be updating the software on the printer to match the software on Apple. And so they will go, well, this printer can't be upgraded anymore. We're done. Sorry, it's 10 years old. It's time to change your printer. Or, hey, install this software on your printer, and it's called a driver, a printer driver. And then you'll be able to keep using this printer with your new operating system. So basically what you need to do right now is put in the model, look at the model of your printer in Google,
Yeah.
type in the model of your printer with the numbers, maybe it's HP XYZ set, whatever name it is, and then say, can it run on Sequoia 15.5 or whatever? Like ask the question, and then that'll take you to the answers from HP, and HP will say yes, but you need to download this driver, or it'll say, nope, sorry, it's too old, you got to buy a new one. Basically that's what you need to do. And then sometimes it'll say you need to download the driver, in which case in the HP page, it'll say, press this button, download, it'll install automatically, and life is good. Everyone's happy and the printer keeps working. And sometimes it'll be like, sorry, we've reached our limit. It's too old. We can't support it anymore. I don't know. I wouldn't know how that works with your printer, but you need to do research that way. Does that make sense, you guys? So if it says yes, it will run, then you need to download the new printer driver. So at HP, you will look for the driver for your model printer. You'll put in, I don't know, my printer is, I'm trying to think of it. I don't even have a working printer right now. My last one stopped working. It's sitting outside in the rain. And I have to look into a new printer, but that's what happened to mine. It was really old and working fine, and now none of our computers run
I
it. So.
hate printers.
What's that?
I hate printers.
Yeah, printers are.
Well, I have liked this printer. It is pretty old, but I really, it's been extremely reliable. I love HP.
You want to hold on to that. If that means that you don't update, then go to the thing we just went and turn off the update automatically and hang on to it for another year. But at some point it'll outlive the need. You'll need to upgrade more than you'll need the old printer. And at some point you need to look into that. But it could be that it's just upgrading your driver. Okay. So go ahead and see if that works for you. And if not, next Tuesday, I can give you a bit more of a hand. We can stay after class or something and help you look into HP.
Okay, do I need to do it right this minute, or should I do it?
No, God, not at all. After class, this is not something that I can, it's not something I can support anyone else with because it's not really a Mac issue. It's more like extra. So I'm telling you what to do, but you do it on your own and then tell me how it went on Tuesday, okay? Or write to me. Let me just say, whenever I say write to me, this is for everyone now. So if anyone was tuning out a bit because they don't have printers, come back in. Whenever I say I'll help you next week, or I much prefer most of the times helping you. Sometimes I'll say I'll help you during the break if it's a quick help, but I need a break. And many times I didn't take a break. So now I'm better at saying I need my breaks. But after class, depending on if my class ends and nothing else comes after, I can stay. Like the other day, I stayed like an extra half an hour with Sue. But as of today, I start teaching another class in 40 minutes until 5 p.m. So I'm basically teaching from 9 to 5 p.m. So after class, I can stay for a quick question, but I can't stay half an hour and give you a lot of support. So when I say email me, then I can tell you a few things of what to try, what to do. And then I say, we'll talk about it in class. The best time for me to support you sometimes is at the beginning, or have us meet maybe 10 minutes earlier or something. Sometimes I can stay 10 minutes later, but I can't stay any more of the 45 minutes and stuff that I've stayed many times. So a lot of you guys are accustomed to how much support I can give you. It all depends always on what class comes after. So, so today is my Photoshop class is starting, and it starts an hour, 40 minutes or 45 minutes after this one ends. So I need to be better about taking care of myself and say, nope, I can only help you for 5 or 10 minutes. All right. Because I need lunch and then I need to keep going. So what I don't do is write hours of email. So I don't teach you a bunch of stuff on email. That just doesn't work, first of all. And second of all, it takes up hours of my day. So I will give you some pointers, something to do, and I'd rather help you in person. And so if you really need a lot of in-person help, sometimes I'll say, okay, 10 minutes before class is over, I'm going to now support someone on this, but it has to be kind of a Mac issue, not like something totally different. And then anyone who needs to can leave, and who wants to see me supporting them on something can stay. Okay. All right. Let's look at the time. I haven't set up the break times yet. Are we ready for a break? 9 to 12, I think not, right? Let me look. We're about ready for a break. So let's do this. Since I'm ready to start on a new subject, let's take the break now. I'd rather do that than suddenly interrupt in the middle of nothing. So let's take our 15-minute break. What I always do is I go to the chat and I put the time to come back. So this is a little bit of a learning thing for those who've never heard me say that. So say it's 10:36 right now. And I give a 15-minute break, right? So then I'll calculate it. I tend to calculate it wrong, and hopefully one of you guys corrects me. And when you correct me, then I put it in correctly. And then here's what I recommend you all do. I want you guys to learn to use your Siri, because there's one thing that is good on the phone. And for those of you who have an Android, use the, whatever it's called, Alexa. One of the things that Siri is awesome for is to set timers. So what I will do is the breaks are 15 minutes long, right? So what I will do, I will set a timer on Alexa for on Siri, sorry, for 12 minutes. That gives me, when the alarm rings, wherever I am in the house, I know that I have 3 minutes to make it back to my computer. I don't want you guys to set a 15-minute timer and then take 2 minutes to come back. Does that make sense? So let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to say, hey, Siri. And then my Siri turned on, and I'll say, set timer for 12 minutes. And
minutes counting down.
my phone just told me 12 minutes counting down. So I'll know thus that I have 3 minutes to make it back. And then I'll carry the phone with me, of course. And no matter where I'm at, I will be here back on time. Does that make sense? So I recommend everyone do that. Now, if you don't have your Siri set up and you said, hey, Siri, and it's not paying attention, we'll get to the point where I'll teach you about Hey, Siri. But if you do have it, then go for it and do it that way, or open up your timer if you know how to do that and set yourself a timer. The whole point is, by now it's 10:38. Someone help me. What's 15 minutes?
10:53.
All right. Thank you. So, all right. Be back at 10:53 a.m. All right. See you guys in 15.
Hey Siri, set timer for 12 minutes.
Hello, hello. How are you all? So I just had, oh, where to leave my tea? Oh, over here, give me a sec. Go. I just had some fun with my broom of all things. I have a little porch here in my studio and it was full of leaves. I went to this today and it was like, "Oh, it's been abandoned for 2 months." So I crunched my way here and now I just swept it all out. So, all right.
But it's waiting for you, Diana.
It was waiting for me. It looks much better now. All right. Hold on because I want to say hi to Linda. Are you still there, Linda? You tried to join us during break. So I wasn't here to let you in. So I don't know if you got tired of waiting. Hello, Linda. Are you there? Okay.
Okay, I'm here actually.
There
Okay.
you are. Hi,
My
Linda.
picture will pop up. Hi.
Great.
I
All right.
guess I'll
welcome
pop up.
back.
Okay,
So let me see. Sue, your hand is up. What's the question?
there we are.
You were talking and now you muted yourself. You were fine when you said there you are, and now you're not.
Oh, I'm here. I was just gonna
Oh, I
listen.
can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, it wasn't Linda. It was Sue who I couldn't hear. Sue, you were talking and I couldn't hear you. No, I still can't hear you. I heard the voice, and so I thought it was Sue trying to talk, but it had been Linda. Sue is the one I can't hear. Sue on your iPad. I don't see you. Are you also here on your computer? Or did your computer drop out? I see you only once, so your no, you're on both. You have no sound on one. And you have no sound on either one. So go back to your computer and turn on the audio feature. You must have disconnected audio instead of just muting. Connecting to audio. Now it says connecting to audio. Okay. And hopefully it connects. It still says connecting to audio, so I'm not sure. I know that you think I'm hearing you because you talk, but I am not hearing you. I'm just seeing that it says connecting to audio. That's on your iPad. I don't know on your computer if you can. You know what? Your computer seems to have dropped off because I don't see you. Oh, there you are. No, instead of connecting to audio on your iPad, which makes no sense because you should be unmuting yourself on your computer. So on your computer, you have the mute turned off. So go to your computer audio and then just click on it so it'll unmute you. Oh, because you hid Zoom. That's why. Go down to your dock and click on Zoom and see if that pops Zoom up. And then you can turn the audio. On your dock, you should see the Zoom icon. Okay, so on the bottom left of all your buttons, one says audio and it's crossed out like muted. I'm guessing, because your face is what you're saying. I think I'm guessing correctly, but years of teaching this, so I don't know. I see that it's crossed out. So is your Zoom, did you pop your Zoom up again on your computer? Is it up? Okay. So do you see where you see the chat and the react and all those buttons on the bottom? Because on the far left, you would see the audio. Okay, try this. Hold your space bar down. Okay, since it's not changing, that means that Zoom is not your active program. Because when Zoom is your active program, you can talk when you hold your space bar. I don't know why your iPad isn't connecting to audio. And I don't know why you can't turn the sound on your computer. Zoom. So we'll wait and see if your iPad connects to audio. Otherwise, go ahead and write your question in the chat while your sound is coming back. But on your computer, if you see Zoom, because you clicked on Zoom, did you say, or otherwise you can right click or two fingers down and say show all windows on Zoom? On the dock on your computer, like two fingers down, and then say show all windows, and then you should be able to see the window on Zoom that you should see the little audio button on the left to click on it to unmute yourself. Your Zoom, what is up with your Zoom? You have some weird Zoom thing. I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Write your question in the chat. Now you're talk, and
I'm on. I'm
You
on.
found- You found it.
Oh,
Good.
gee, well,
Good.
it doesn't show up on Zoom. It's at the bottom. Anyhow, my
Anyway.
question was,
Yes.
if I have Zoom on my iPad, do
Mhm.
I have to have Zoom on my computer as well?
It's a good question. You know why? Because if at some point you can't do something, you can't find it, I need to tell you to share your screen. You're gonna need to share from this Zoom, the one on your computer.
But
'Cause-
remember, I can't share my screen because we tried that last time.
No, but last time we had two computer desktops going on, and no, this time you will be able to because you're not doing that thing again. So don't worry. If you need to share your screen on this one now that you have your iPad running, I'll be able to show you how to share your screen because you're not trying to do the two screen thing on your computer. So you'll be fine. You'll be able to share it. I'm not going to take my time to do it right now, but I will at some point when you need help. Trust me, you'll see that now it'll work.
Just how do I
Issue-
get my thing back in front of my Zoom?
Okay, so now go back to the top left of your Zoom to the red, yellow, and green buttons and go and click on the yellow one and have it hide away again and leave the sound on like this so we can talk.
Oh, great. Thank
Great.
you.
You're welcome. All right, is everyone else back? I see a lot of empty rooms. Come on back. Okay, so guess what we're gonna do now? Similar to what we did on the computer, now what we need to do is okay, before we continue, I need a favor. Julie usually is the one that keeps me on time, but she needs to leave a bit earlier today.
No, my thing was canceled, so
Oh.
I'll be here till 12:30.
Okay, then Julie, I'll ask you or anyone else who wants to. I don't have my alarm set up yet for when the class is over and stuff like that, and the class should be over at 12:35. Do you think you can let me know 15 minutes earlier?
Yeah.
That
Oh,
I-
I thought it was 12:25. Okay.
Oh, isn't it? What time is the class timing? Oh, now I'm confused because I do sometimes write it down wrong.
12:35.
Oh,
It's
okay. And I
35.
had
Okay,
it wrong.
good.
Okay.
So then 15 minutes before that,
Be 12:20.
yeah, and that way so I can calculate my timing.
Okay.
Normally I set my alarms and everything's running, but I don't have it set up yet because when I tried to set them up, I was on the East Coast and this phone does this thing where it's like, well, let me calculate the 3 hours. And I'm like, okay, I'll set them up when I go back home. But so there you go. You'll be our dinner. Thank you.
Happy
right.
to do it.
Thank you. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do is similar to what we just did on the computer, but we're going to begin to see how our phones and our computers connect. And when I say phones, some of you also have iPads, right? So this is phones and iPads, smartwatches, whatever. I think once somebody had another kind of device that it was still like a machine. Anyway, does anyone have any Apple device other than what I mentioned? It used to be that there was an iPod, and I think the iPods are still being made, which I did not know, which is only for, basically it's like a phone, but without the phone feature to it. And I did not know that existed, or that people still use it, which is interesting enough. Okay, so now if you have,
I have an iMac.
what's that?
An iMac.
Yeah, an iMac is a computer. So who said that? Who is an iMac?
I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah. So thanks, because in fact, I think my next computer is going to be an iMac. I've been trying to buy a new computer and I'm seriously looking at an iMac. But so an iMac is a computer, desktop computer. So some of you guys have iMacs, which are all in one, computer and screen. Some of you have laptops, which are all in one, only they open and close. So that would be a desktop versus a laptop. But then some of you might have a Mac Mini, and a Mac Mini is you just buy a little box, but you need to put a display, a monitor onto it. That's also considered a desktop. So an iMac is a desktop, a Mac Mini is a desktop, and then a laptop is a laptop, but they all work exactly the same. So they just physically look different, but they are all operating system, OS, everything we've just done, no matter which of all of those I mentioned. There will be some differences in the batteries and stuff like that, but other than that, there's no other difference. But the iOS is what the operating system is called for the mobile devices, the phones, the iPads, and the smartwatches. So now we're going to go and figure out how do we see this exact thing that we just did on the OS, okay, operating systems, how we see this exact same thing on our iOSs, our phones and our iPads, okay? And I will demo on a phone, and what I demo on a phone is 99% identical to what you will see on an iPad. iOS for iPad and for the phone are very similar, only the iPad has much more space, right? So it looks sometimes a bit more like the laptop, depending on the space. Okay, so I'm going to share my phone right now, okay? So what you're going to see next is my phone. And you guys go bring your phones and your iPads if you haven't yet, and have them right next to you. Okay, so here's my phone. All right. Once you have your phones next to you, or your iPads, what we need to do is figure out if our phones are updated, if they have operating system or iOS updates available, app updates available, the same shebang that we just did with the computers. So I have this here very clear is the same icon as I had before in the computer, and it says settings. If you don't see your settings anywhere, or you have it some other place and you don't remember where it is, let's find it by going to the search down here, right? And then click on the word search. And then you start writing the word settings, S-E-T-T, and boom. At the top hit, you'll see your settings icon. No matter where it was hiding on your phone, it'll pop up. And then we're going to click on it, and the settings will open up. Okay, so once your settings are open up, give me a yes on the computer. And I have an iPad here that is very old, but it is one. And I'm going to plug it in because it's been unplugged this entire time I've been gone. If I find a cable, and if not, I'll have to wait until I come. Yeah, I might have to wait until after class. So I can answer specifically some iPad questions, but I know that the newer iPads have some features that this one doesn't happen. But 90% of the phone is the same as the iPad. So it should be able to work. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of yeses. I don't see some yeses. Patricia, Jennifer, Sue said yes. Okay. Mason, do you have, oh, she said yes. Okay. So basically Jennifer. Now, Patricia and Julie, you guys have Androids. Oh, Patricia, do you have an iPad? No.
No. I have the Android. I'm looking for the settings.
So Androids, Julie and Patricia have Androids. I can't give you support on the Androids in particular, but it's very similar. You can find the settings on the Android and follow along looking for the things I'm showing you, because basically the same stuff is there, only it's not in the same place that I'm showing it to you here. All right.
I found it, Diana.
All right, good. Now, thank you, Julie, for showing that to Patricia. Okay, so here we go. If I put my finger on the screen, move up and down, this here, if you can also look at your computer per chance, if you have the computer right next to you, you will notice that your computer has your system settings on your computer, okay? If you can see your system settings on your computer. you will notice that the left column of your system settings is very similar, almost identical to this that I have right here, right? The settings now, not for Jennifer or the two Carols, because that's the whole point of why the settings on the computer changed, is because a lot of people were being introduced to Macs because they bought an iPhone and then they bought a computer and they went, how come the preferences on the computer are so different to the settings on the Mac? So what they did is they changed the computer, the one that we've been doing, changed to look just like the phone and the iPad. Does that make sense? So Sonoma, Ventura, and Sequoia operating systems now look like this, versus Monterey and older still look different. And that's why when you upgrade, your system services, your system settings will be, that are preferences now, will change to be called settings and will look exactly like this. All right. But this is basically the same thing we were looking at before. And there is one difference for me that I mentioned. Mine was up to date on my computer, so I didn't have any warnings here. But on this phone, it's not up to date. So it's not even waiting for me to go to general to find out. It's telling me up here that I have a software update and that I need to finish setting up my phone. Does that make sense? This is the contextual menu. Once I've finished setting up my phone, these two things will disappear. Whenever I'm demoing this kind of stuff, it's kind of weird because I have to say, guys, this will show up here if necessary, but people don't see it and don't know what I'm talking about. Well, this time you're seeing it.
I'm not seeing your screen.
Okay, let me stop the share and start again.
I
Oh.
saw it.
Is anyone else not seeing it?
No, I saw it.
Okay, but I'm also noticing that my,
Oh, okay. I have it now. I had a slide left. Okay.
okay, all right, got it. All right, so so over here, I could just go over here to the software update tonight, but let me just show you the same way that I did it on the computer, which is going through general. So I'm going to scroll to general. And now I'm seeing this is all the stuff that you could see on the computer under general. It's all these choices, right? About and software update are the only two that we had gone to. And here they are again. About, when I do that, it tells me all about this phone. This is a school phone and it's pretty old at this point. It's an iPhone 10. I'm trying to get them to buy me a newer one. But there we go. It's an iPhone 10. And now, just like we did on the computer, to go back out, and then I will go to software update. And I click on software update and it says 1805 has been downloaded. Okay, but it's not installed yet. It tells me it introduces some wallpaper, other features, bug fixes, security updates. So it won't be a big change from what I have. In fact, it says it's 18.5. To find out what I have now, and about, I forgot to check, I have 18.4. So see, it's just a little update, and those little updates, it's not switching me to a whole new version. It's just a little update from 18.4 to 18.5. Sorry, I went to the wrong, my finger touched the wrong thing. And it's just mainly security updates, which is why you should be doing them, because, you know, people are out, bad apples are out there trying to hack into stuff, and security updates is what prevents it. So it's scheduled. It will be installed when the iPhone is locked and has enough battery to update. So I had it set up to update tonight. It said update tonight. I could interrupt that and say update now, which I'm not going to because I'm teaching, right? Or I can say, no, I don't want the update. But since I didn't say that nor that, if I just leave it, then tonight, as it said before, when it'll update on its own, and when I come up in the morning, this one here will be gone because it will have been updated. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, does anyone else have an update available? I'm gonna, nope.
Deanna,
Yes.
I never got anywhere on this. I didn't get settings on my
On the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you see this icon anywhere?
Which icon?
Louise,
No,
this
I did
little,
not see that icon.
okay. All right. So then do you see the word search down here?
Just a minute. No, I did
Okay.
not.
All right,
see.
it could be that you don't have the space for that. So let me show you the other way to get the search. Look
Okay.
look at me for a minute.
Okay.
Put your finger gently on some, and not on any of these icons, but in the middle, and just gentle pull down. Gentle pull down.
Okay.
So basically, are you on one of the main screens that has little buttons?
I am on the main screen, one of the
Okay.
sets of buttons, and I've pulled down.
Just gentle push down, and then the search comes up right here.
Yes, just a minute. Hang on, I had it. Here's the search.
Okay,
Okay.
now write the word settings, S-E-T. All you need to do is S-E-T, and that's enough for the settings to come up.
Got
You don't need to write the whole thing. And then there it is, and now just click on that button.
Open.
It pops up, and
Hang on.
yeah.
I don't see settings here.
Okay, did the settings feature, did it pop up like that? Did this come?
No. So let me go back and try it. Oh, how do I do that? Okay, darling, I'm going to pull down
Mm-hmm.
and I'm
Did
going to
you
write
write
settings in.
S-E-T?
Yes, and I wrote the whole word settings, and then it says open, but the open isn't dark, it's light. And there's an X.
Doesn't matter. Okay, so then go up here, you should see if you found, okay. Hold on, I went up. If you see the settings there, look up here and see if you see this icon now.
Okay, just a minute, sweetie. I have to go back because,
No, but if you said that it said settings open, you said that, right?
well, the open wasn't dark, it was light.
Doesn't
and
matter if it's
nothing
dark or
open.
light. It doesn't
Okay.
matter if it's because when it says settings open, you don't open it from here. You have to go up to this icon.
Okay, so I'm going to try again.
Color will be different from your phone, from my phone, it doesn't matter. You just need to put the word settings, and then you don't open it from here. You go to the icon where it says top hit at the very top of the page of your search.
Oh, and there's one that said settings app.
Yes, settings app.
Okay, let me get out of this one. Settings.
And you have to click on the actual little icon.
Device settings. It looks different. It's blue with a white gear. But
Well, it's mine. It might be a different operating system color. Yeah.
I think mine is pretty old is the problem.
Okay, we'll click on it and let's see if it opens your settings, and we'll see then
Right,
that we'll know it's the
settings.
right one.
Get. It
No,
says
get. Oh, no, if you say it says get, it's buying it. So no, that's different.
okay.
So your phone doesn't have,
It doesn't seem to have a settings.
okay, you might have deleted it. It's possible to delete it.
Okay.
In which case it's probably by looking for it, it's saying get. Get means that you need to get it from the Apple Store. So go ahead and say get as long as it's the right one.
Okay. Hang on. So I'm going to get the device settings, or I have another one, device settings information.
Yeah, no. Can you, this is when it's a bit hard, because as much as you can share your screen with me, it's very hard for you to share your phone with me. So I'm going to need to see, can you put your phone up to, let me stop my share, first of all. Can you put your phone, and I'm going to make you, where are you here? I'm going to spotlight, and so I can make you bigger. Okay, can you try to put your phone up, not next to the camera, because that won't work, but next to your face, like put it in front of your face, like do like this in front of your nose. Yes, but turn it around so I can see the screen. Turn it around. Okay. So
Want me to hold
possible approach. Okay, about the source. Okay, so you're somewhere else. Okay, so press the button that you have on the bottom of your phone. Press that button.
That says go up. It has the arrow up.
Yeah, go press it twice so you go back to the home page.
Okay.
All right. If you approach it, it goes blurry because you have the blur turned on. If you don't have the blur turned on, it's easier. Okay. So you're searching in an app. You're not searching inside of the search. That's what's happening. Okay. So now double click the phone again. You need to go to your home page. Do you know how to go to the home page where you just have all your buttons? Just double click, tick, tick, really quick, your button.
Okay.
Show me.
Okay. First of all, it asked me how helpful were the results on
Yeah,
Google.
nothing, because what you did is you did a Google search. You didn't do a search of your phone. So go
Okay.
back.
Okay. Now this is what I'm showing now.
You're still, okay, you need to get rid of this. This is not your
How
phone. This is Safari or a browser that is searching for information, which is not. So do you know how to pull this away? Like put your mouse, put your thumb in the bottom of your phone and push up to get rid of this. Do you know how to do that?
On the hole down there or on the screen?
On the button that
the
you have. Okay, so what you do is, watch you guys, it's a movement. And this is because she has an older phone. I don't know if you can see me doing it, but this is a newer phone, so I don't have that button there. But
Yeah.
you put your thumb or your finger down and you pull up like this.
Okay, here I go.
Shut.
Down and up. And
Yeah.
now what do I do?
And now when you do that, you can just like, yeah, so that, oh, that's the control. All right. Now click on some neutral area of that, the stuff that has nothing, for it to disappear.
Okay.
Or that little arrow at the top that pulls down,
Yeah.
click on that one so that that disappears.
Okay. Okay, it's gone.
All right, now we need to get this one gone.
Gotta get out of that background thing.
Yeah, so
Who's that?
see at the top right, there's a little X. Click on that X to get rid of that.
Okay. Okay.
You see
Okay,
the X
this
I'm
just
talking
says
about?
about the source. Should I
Yeah,
X that?
just click on all that, get rid of all that. You need to get rid of that and go back to your home. Does someone still have a phone that has a button, you guys? Because I'm trying to remember how you got to home. You know, my iPad has it, but my iPad is dead. Does anyone else still have a phone that has a button on the bottom?
Don't they all?
No.
Oh, okay.
Guys, no one else in the room has one that still has a button?
Oh, that's amazing. That's how old my phone is.
No,
Yeah,
I have a button.
You have a button? Who's speaking?
Sue.
Sue, okay. So to get back to that home page where you just see all of your apps, do you double click on the home button? How do you get there again? I'm trying to remember and I'm having a
I just click once.
once. Okay. So click
Okay.
one time on your button.
Okay. I did that. Now here's what I have.
There we go. That's what I wanted. Put it out next to your nose. If you put it next to the camera, next to your nose, exactly. I need to see it. Yes, but I need it to be
All
next
right.
to your nose. Or I need you to turn off your blood feed, your nose, there. Okay. Good. Now on this place, see how right to the right of all your icons, you have an empty space?
Yes.
Put your finger gently there and pull down. Gently there and pull down into the
Ah,
neutral. There's
there.
search. There's your settings. Go click on that settings now. Good. Go click on that settings button at the top.
Oh my gosh. The first time I've seen it.
All right, click on that settings button at the top.
Okay, now I have settings.
Oh, good. Yay. So
Well,
now turn it
what
around.
is of settings?
Turn it around for me to see.
Yeah, I think I want to go down to general.
Yeah, so go down to, okay, you're there now. Good, good. You don't need to keep showing me anymore. Now go down to general and good. You're set. Thank you, Sue, for pointing it out. It was one click. It's been a while, so I couldn't remember if it was 2 clicks or down or one.
Okay, and now I do software update.
And now check and see if there's a software update. Yeah.
There is. So I'll push on that. And it says iOS 18.5 is up to date, it says.
Awesome. That means that your phone is up to date. So see the difference, you guys? She has a pretty old phone. If you go to about it, it'll tell you, I don't know, maybe it's a 6 or what was the last one that had a button?
The 6. I
Maybe an
do.
8. Okay. And they work fine. And not only that, but she has 18.5, which is the latest software. Phones can be pretty old and still take the latest software. So she has the same software we have now. Does that mean she can do the same things that, say, an iPhone 16 can do? Like, iPhone 16 is the latest one. No, there's things that iPhone 16 can do. Otherwise, people wouldn't keep buying new phones that the 6 can't do. But the same operating system runs it. And then at some point, yours phone won't have certain features on it that the other ones do. But other than that, as long as your phone can do it, and then it'll work. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, so it isn't the same software, but your phone was made, I don't know, at this point, 8 years ago, or I don't remember anymore what 6 is versus 16. It could actually be it, no, because they skipped some numbers, so it's not 10 years. They skipped the
Diana.
9. They skipped the 9. I think the only one they skipped is the 9, and one comes out a year, so maybe it's 8 years old.
Ask Diana. My phone is new, but it's a special version. It's an SE.
I was gonna say the 6 was so good. It's really such a good phone that a lot of people were holding on to it. And they came out this last year with a new version of the 6, which is the SE that operates like the 6 because it was one of the best phones that iPhone made. So as long as it keeps working for you, I wouldn't change it because the 6 is a good phone. It doesn't have the most up-to-date cameras and a lot of the gizmos, but hey, it works really well. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Sue. All right, guys. So let me share mine again. And let's get back to the settings. Hello? My phone, here it comes. There we go. My phone takes a tad longer to share than the computer screen. Okay, so here we were in the settings. So mine, I'm not going to update right now. Now, some people all get upset about this one, finish setting up your phone, because many of your phones still have that one there. And sometimes it's something you need to finish setting up. Other times it's because it wants you to put in and use your wallet. And if you don't, see, finish setting up your phone, set up Apple Pay. This is the school phone. I'm not going to set up Apple Pay. Apple Pay would be to give the phone my credit card. And then whenever I want to pay, all I need to do is say I go to Trader Joe's and I need to pay. I don't need to bring my purse. I don't need to bring my cards. I don't need to bring anything. I can just put my phone and swipe it over their pay pad and the credit card goes in and that's it. And the payment goes through. So that's what Apple Pay is. And it's really comfortable. And I just spent 2 months away from home. And I didn't even bring, well, I had my credit card hidden somewhere just in case something happened to my phone, but I didn't take out my credit card even once. All I did was put my phone on everything. I tapped my phone and because I set up Apple Pay, but I'm not going to set up Apple Pay on this phone because it's a school phone. So this will forever be saying, finish setting up your phone. Does that make sense? And when I go to it, it's because it'll tell me what's missing. For you guys, it might be missing a signature or this or that. You might need to continue it. But for me, it's because I need to set Apple Pay and I'm not going to. So I'm just going to always have that little message there. Does that make sense?
Yes. It gives me the willies to put Apple Pay on my phone. You know, if I lost my phone, somebody else could use it. And so,
well, yes and no. Do you have your phone protected by a code? Open it. Do you just, anyone can open it or do you need to put in a code in your phone? Do you put in a PIN?
I don't think I put in a PIN when I open it.
If you open it and put nothing in, it could be that it's recognizing your face.
Yes, I have it on facial.
Okay, good. So then I found, just so you know, guys, I found a phone at this point, maybe it's a year or 2 ago. And I did my best to return it. You can't open it. If you don't have the code or you're not the right face, you can't open it. I tried to take it to the police. They said they do nothing about it. I tried to take it to AT&T, whatever, Verizon, because I could see the little line said Verizon. They said that they can't do anything about it. I took it to the Apple store and they said they can't do anything about it. It is, I mean, unless you know, here's how I did return it though. And I will teach you later on, not today, but in Mac Level 2, I teach about the Find My Phone feature. And the Find My Phone feature is a feature that the owner has to set up. And so the owner of the phone went somewhere else set up the Find My Phone. His phone beeped and told him where the phone was, and he came to my door and said, "Hi, did you find my phone?" And I said, "Yeah, here it is." But I was not able to break into it in any which way because it was locked. And as long as it's locked and I don't have the right face nor the right passcode, I can't open it. Just telling you all that because it truly works. At most, they can erase it and, you know, they can hack into it, erase it, and then resell it as new, but they can't get into your account just by having your phone, other than if they mug you, and this is important, and then, and this is true, and I've heard it happening sometimes, but it's really rare. And then what they do is they put the phone in front of your face is still there, right? Then you opened it that way. Does that make sense? But
Yeah.
yeah, we can not go out into the world because that can happen. But they could have as well forced you to put in the PIN, the 4-code PIN, then as much as they could have told you to put your finger when it's a finger. So yes, can things happen? Of course they can happen. But if you lose your phone, that's not an issue. If they're going to steal your phone and mug you, they're going to steal and do a lot of other stuff too. So anyway, and then the question is, what do they do with that phone? They could have just swiped your purse and there they have your credit card. And that is a credit card they can use anywhere versus a phone, they have to break into your phone to get into it, to find a way to use it. I'm not saying that your fears are unfounded, Georgia. It took me a long time to go through this process too. But all I'm saying, it's easier to steal, to pickpocket you and steal your wallet or to steal any of that than it is to break into your phone to use your Apple Pay. That's my only item of, you know, how easy it is when you're in a when you're looking at the fountain in Trevi to look around and someone stole your wallet. Very easy. It happens all the time. What's in your wallet? Your credit card. Boom. You have to call a credit card and cut them off and before they use it. But it won't be because they did it through your phone. It'll be because they do it through the credit card that they stole from you. Anyway, all right, so that's just my 2 cents on that. So good point, great fear to have. At first I was worried about all these privacy things that were happening and the fact that they can know where your photo was taken. And now I'm like, you know, at this point, anyone can go online, put in your name and find your address, find your phone number. There's like no privacy left, you guys. I could, if I really wanted to search any one of you guys, I could find out where you live just through Google. I don't even need to be a hacker, right? So ultimately, what you need to do is have really good passwords on stuff. Don't leave anything unpassworded or unlocked, and don't use the same password for everything. So that's basically the learning that we need to do now. Or, you know, when I tried to sign in and it said, give me your code, I had to look at my phone. You know, what I did that I said, excuse me for a minute, I'm needing to put in a code. That's called a 2-factor authentication. So if someone steals your phone, they can't get into it because the other authentication has to be in by your computer. If someone steals your computer, they can't get into it because the other authentication needs to be given by your phone. So it's like, that is the safest way to set it up. Does that make sense? You need 2 of your devices, both of them accessible. So if I don't have, it's confusing because if I'm go to my computer and it says, give me the code, and I left my phone in my car, well, I have to go all the way to the car to find that code to come back to get in, which isn't comfortable, but it's security. Does that make sense?
Okay.
All right. We do talk about security in these things, so this was a conversation that comes up, so it's not out of the place. When something is an out of the place question that I don't, letting you know, if you ever feel bad about asking a question that I don't seem to be addressing, I only address it at length if it's something that's part of the class. Does that make sense? If not, I'll say something like, we'll go look for the driver and we'll talk later, like what I did for your printer, right? But it had to do with updating, so I did talk about why, but then I didn't help you find the printer. So I don't go off on tangents that aren't part of what you need to know, and security is a big one, and we do not have a security class. I'm trying to set one up. In fact, Esther said she was going to teach one, but I haven't seen it come through yet. Because you guys, the most important thing is to know how to have your digital devices secure. So even though there's no literal supposed space in these outlines to teach security, I try to slip it in here as best as I can. Oh, and Bob said that's true. You might notice that Bob just added the codes can be sent to the Apple Watch too. So say that your Apple Watch is always with you instead of having to go the phone that you left behind and you're running and that's why you left your phone away and you're just having a walk. Well, the code can be sent to to your watch. That way you have it with you, which makes more sense because if you have a watch, the watch is always on your arm, right? Anyway. And yes, can someone mug you and open your phone and put your face in front of your face, and then it says you need a code, and then get your arm and look at the code? And yeah, worst case scenario is possible, guys. We can have mud and thunder, and yeah, I'm not saying that things can't happen, but the less the better your passcodes and the better your security, the more chances that how many of us have actually in our long lives been mugged in that way. And the chances of it happening, especially living in Santa Barbara, I have to admit, are probably lower than if I lived, say, in New York City. So I'm not going to worry too much about that portion of it. More, are your passwords safe and good and secure? All right. So here we are. We saw how to get to the updates. Let's go back on the phone now to general for a minute. So I'm going to go and find general again right there. And I'm going to open general. So what we did on the computer was we went to the about and to the software update. That was the about, and that was a software update. We did that on the computer. Now I want to keep moving down a little bit and show you some things here that then I'll show you on the computer, because right under that is iPhone storage. Okay, so we're going to talk about the iPhone storage versus the iCloud storage, which some of you guys have no idea about the difference and why and whatever. Let me just explain. iPhone storage means literally what its word says. This machine that you bought, this little thing you have in your hand, has came with a certain amount of storage space. And some of you bought a house that has also 3 garages, and some of you guys bought a little shed. So whatever phone you bought, that's the storage it came with. You cannot change that. So click on iPhone storage. And it turns out, as you can see up here, that my phone has 31 gigabytes of 64 gigabytes used. So 64 gigabytes is the amount of space that this phone comes with. And that's it. That's all it has. If I go to my personal phone right here, this phone, if I go to general and iPhone storage, this one has 256 gigabytes. I bought a personal phone with quite a bit more storage, 256 versus 64, right? That's just whatever you purchased, and that's what you have. And how much of it is being filled up is, in this case, almost half of it, 31, right? Versus in my other phone, I have 149 gigabytes used of 256. So I am able to have more on my other phone than this phone would ever be able to have, because it just doesn't have space. Does that make sense? It's truly about this physical piece and nothing else. There's another storage we're going to look at later that has to do with the iCloud. And I want you guys to distinguish that everything we're seeing right now under general, okay, under settings general, is related only to this phone and nothing else, to this thing that you're holding on your hand. Software update, all of this belongs to this phone. Now, if you have a ton of space left, don't worry about it. If you're getting to the point that you are very near, like say that I had 50 gigabytes used of 64, then that's when you start trying to download something big, it'll say, whoops, you're running out of space and that kind of thing. Does that make sense? Or it'll start working less, it'll start working worse and stuff like that. So this might be one of those few things where you might need to, when I say if you ever need to upgrade to a new phone, it might have to do with the fact that you're running out of space. You want to download 10 more apps and you only have space for 3. But if you're happy with the apps you have and the phone is working, then who cares, right? So you don't need more space. Now, what kind of things take space? Well, files, and that all, this is intro to the Mac. Mac level 1, which is a class that comes after this one, is all about file organization. And we'll talk all about that and how to make space in your computer, on your phone. So we'll deal with that. But right now, the most obvious answer is if you guys download movies, or if you download music, or if you take a lot of videos with your camera, those are all things that could fill up your phone more than others. You could take a lot of photos and it would be very hard to fill almost any phone, because phones are all built enough to handle thousands of photos, but videos would take up a lot of space. And so over here, it's telling me that the red applications is what fills up quite a bit of it. Mail, that little tiny orange strip is how much I have of mail. The gray part is my iOS. Yeah, my operating system takes up all that. And then my photos is that little bit. Now, this is a sample phone, so I don't have many photos, but for most of you guys, you probably have a pretty big-ish little bit set up, taken up by your photos, because most people have more photos than my sample phone would have. All right. So is anyone here in a bit of trouble? Like, do you have too much stuff and your phone is running out of space, or are you all good with that? Bob, meanwhile, everyone give me a yes if you're all good. Give me a no if you think you're in trouble and need to talk about it. Bob? What's your
Yes,
question?
I know somebody who has a 64 gigabyte, but it's maxed out. Does WhatsApp photos and documents take up space in storage on an iPhone? Do you know?
Yeah, so notice that right underneath that, you notice that it says recommendations, review large attachments. So that would be one thing to do. This is a bit more of appropriate. I'll show you now really quickly because I know you can look into it. This is more an appropriate question for the next class, Mac Level 1, when we talk about all of this. But just showing you this, you'll be able to see. Review large attachments. If you have anything that's really huge, and you will only see it if you have large attachments, again, contextual. If you don't have large attachments, it won't come up. But since I have some, when I click on that, it'll take me to some of these photos that are really big. So I can go, oh, I wasn't aware that this is such a big photo. And I can say, well, I don't want this one anymore. And I can select it and I can look at it and go, I don't need that one. Why do I need that one? It's so big. And then you can decide to delete it, right? So then I can go over here and let me just go to the right and say delete. Okay. Now I'm going to leave that one there because I use this as a sample, but you might find that you have some that are 120, 130, maybe it's videos and stuff like that. And then you right click and you delete it, and that takes already 27 megabytes out. That's one thing. But it's telling me that I would save 118 megabytes if I deleted all of these, but it only shows you those big ones. Now, if that isn't showing up for that person, then you go down here and then it shows you how much space each one of your apps are taking. And I have GarageBand for 1.63 gigabytes. That's huge. If I never use a GarageBand, why would I want that? If GarageBand is like something that's there and I don't want it, again, right drag and hit delete. So you can go down and discover that there's stuff that takes up a lot of space that you don't need. Now, what you said about WhatsApp is different, and I'm not going to deal with that whole app right now because most people don't even know what it is, but WhatsApp is an app that allows you to receive from other people a ton of videos, a ton of photos. And what that person needs to do, remember when I showed people how to edit their messages during Mac Level 1? In WhatsApp, what you need to do, because I use WhatsApp as well, you need to start deleting. If you open and download every one of the things you get, it fills up your phone. So you need to go in and start deleting all of those things that you get. Like when my mom sends me little videos all the time, cute little things, encouraging quotes, places you need to visit before you die, like little videos, little stuff. I look at them, I enjoy them, and then I delete them. That way they don't stay on my phone. So that's the kind of thing that needs to be done. I'm going to continue this conversation in Mac Level 1, which is the whole point of Mac Level 1 is dealing with your files and your settings and stuff like that. But hopefully that'll give you a bit of an idea of what to do to clear up your storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Dion.
Yeah, you're welcome. Just delete apps that they don't use at all, or delete then if you continue using WhatsApp, you can't delete WhatsApp. Then go in there and begin deleting all of those videos and stuff that you receive. And then once you've done it backwards, then it's easy to keep up to date. Like every time I get something from my mom, I watch it and I delete it. It's like automatic. And then it takes no time. Once you do it going backwards, it's harder. Okay.
I have a question. This is Georgia.
Yes. Can I stop you for a second, Georgia? Sue has had her hand up for quite a bit. So I'm going to take Sue's question first. Go ahead and raise your hand so that then I'll take your question next. All right, Sue?
I forgot to take my hand down because you
okay, well then you go now. I can actually answer Georgia's question. I'll bring your hand down, don't worry. Yeah, oh, she did it. Okay. Yes, Georgia?
Is there a way to delete photos and videos and things on your phone, but not delete them from your computer?
All right. So remember I told you that next week I start my photos class, Living the iLife? All those questions will be answered. Are you in that class?
I don't think so. What
Okay.
day is it?
Let me look and see. I will be teaching that class on, look at that, Mondays. Sorry, not Mondays, Tuesdays after the Intro to the Mac. So Intro to the Mac finishes at 12:35 and Living the iLife starts at 1:30. So next Tuesday is the first day. And I think it's not full yet. It was almost full, but in case you try to sign up and it's full, I will, I can give you, I can still give you a permission to sign up. Here's the number. Let me put this information in the chat, you guys. Anyone who wants to know more about how to handle their photos, Tuesdays, apostrophe S, that was a typo. 1:30 to 4:45 p.m. Living the iLife 81442 is the code. And I think I still have a few spots open on that one. Let me check really quickly.
I may have a conflict, but if I don't, I will sign up.
Okay.
You said it's in the afternoon?
It's in the afternoons, yeah. It's 1:30 to 4:45. Living the iLife 20. Oh yeah, 20. I still have 5 spots in there, so we're good. Someone must have dropped because I had 22 before, now I have 21. So yeah. So that class it's on Mac level 1, I deal with all of the file management and handling and stuff like that. So in a way, I will be answering parts of these questions as well. Are you signed up for Mac level 1? Okay, so that I can get a little bit deeper into that, but where we deeply get into that is in the photos class, which is called Living the iLife. So if you can't take it now, you can take it the next time it comes around, but a lot of we can deal with also, some of that we can deal with in the Mac level 1, okay? Because the answer takes way too long. And when I now explain the iCloud, some of that will be talked about, so you'll have an idea of why and what I'm explaining. So it won't be completely clueless, but it's because it's not a yes or a no. It's very
complicated.
There's so many options of how you can set it up, but it's not easy. And no, the quick answer is no. The slow answer is yes, but you need to do all these settings that I can't get to right now. So, but that's where I do deal with it. Okay. Great questions. Now, in part today, when I start talking about the iCloud, which will be a conversation I'll have between today and next class, I might be able to give you an answer based on your settings. Once we look at those settings, then I can tell you whether you can or not delete stuff. But right now, we're not there yet. Okay, so let me go back to my computer now, guys. So now we're switching to our computers and we're checking the settings, system settings on our computers. So this is my system settings on the computer now that I'm sharing. And Carol and Jennifer, I will share the version. I will share our how it looks for you guys because it looks different. But this is for Sequoia and Sonoma and Ventura. On the same general, we have the about, the software, and now we have storage again. So here we go. Let's click on storage on the settings in our computer. And it looks very similar to what we just did on the phone, right? And anyone who has an iPad, you can do it on your iPad, and an iPad, it looks pretty much identical to what I'm showing you here right now. And now it'll show you how much space your computer has will be the second number, 494 gigabytes, which is basically rounded out to 500 gigabytes is the size of this computer. And I have 300 used up. Okay. So now this here and how to deal with it and what to do with all these files is truly what we do in Mac level 1. All right. But once again, the closer you are to being full, then it really does affect the functioning of your computer. So if you say have, 400 gigabytes used and you only have 494, you're basically almost full, then you're in trouble and you definitely need to come to my Mac level 1 class and deal with all that, or you'll be in trouble. Now, I'm going to stop this share and show people on the old system how they need to do this exact thing. So Carol Gear, you still there? Where are you? Carol Gear, there you are, and Jennifer Parsons. And Carol, just for today, but later it'll be what we just did. So here's what we do. On the old system, you didn't have the way to check your storage in the system preferences. You had to do it here in this thing where we opened that we said about this Mac, okay? And if you don't have it open and you can't find it again, it was basically the Apple about this Mac. And then here you would go to the word storage. And for software update, you would go here to software update. So everything we've been doing that is on the system settings for the phone and for the newer computers is here. It was divided in 2 apps. Now they put them all in 1 app. Okay, so I'm going to go to storage, and now it's calculating and it'll tell me, but basically I have 1 terabyte, so I have a lot of space on this computer, and it's already telling me that I have 492 available. So basically half of my computer is still empty and the other half is full. Okay, and it's calculating when it's set up, it'll give me a breakdown of photos and all that. There it is, right? But that's where you find it. And if you want to manage it, which is what we do in Mac level 1, you click the word manage, and in the word manage, you'll actually open up something that looks similar to what it looks like in the other computer, but we're not going to handle the manage until Mac level 1. All right, but that tells you where you're at. It's the word storage. Okay, which on your computer, for everyone else on the system settings, it's called storage as well, but we find it under the system settings. Okay, I'm going to stop that share. Did you find that, Carol? Did you find that, Jennifer? All good? Yep. Carol Gear? You're muted, so I can't hear you. I don't know if you want to stay muted, but if you're trying to say something, because I saw your mouse moving, you need to unmute yourself. When I see your mouth moving, it's not like you need to unmute yourself, even nothing to say, but if you have something to say, because I see your mouth moving, I figure you're trying to say something, then I tell you that you need to come back to me. Okay. All right. So that's that. If you had an iPad, you need to go to the same place. You would have seen the same things about software update and storage. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you, and I'm looking at the time. I know that you'll keep me straight here, but okay, good. And 51, we're doing good. All right. So now I want to introduce a different concept. Phones and computers are hardware. You bought them with the amount of space that you bought them, and you're stuck with that. You bought them with a lot, great. You have a lot of space. You bought them with a little, then very quickly you fill them up. All right. But then there's a different place where you can store stuff, and it's called the iCloud. And that is up in the internet, right? So to say. So what's this iCloud thing? The iCloud is the way that the Apple, all companies, Google, Android, I mean, all the companies do this, but in this case, we're talking about Mac. The way that your devices talk to each other, in this case, your phone, your iPad, and your computers, how do they talk to each other? How do they send each other things? How do you have the same phone number for your friend in the phone that you have in your computer that you have in your iPad? It's because you get connected through the iCloud, and the iCloud connects all your devices together. Not only that, but it also holds stuff, and you can in that case, purchase more space for it to hold than what your computer or your phone can hold. And then you can have a lot of your stuff sitting up in the cloud as opposed to sitting in your phones or your computers. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad. We talk a lot about that. Mac level 1, we're really going to dig into all of that space. But I'm going to show you on your computers and on your phones how you get to that iCloud space. And you see how much space you have in your iCloud. So that's what we're going to do right now. And then we're going to begin to learn what's the point and how useful or how not useful it is, whether you want or not to use it. So I'm going to start with the computer first, okay? So once again, I'm starting with the computer and I'm starting with the system settings, that is Sequoia, Sonoma, and Ventura. So Carol, and Jennifer, hang in there for a second. All right, so here we are. We were in general. Everything from general down, all these choices pertain to this computer, which makes sense. It's the system settings of this computer. Same with battery, network, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. But then there's a little space here. And right above that, you see something that is probably your name. It's your Apple account. It used to be called the Apple ID. It's now called the Apple account. Do you see your name there?
Yep.
Click on that name. Click on your name. Mine, as you see, is set up. It's the SBCC computer, so it's not my name. But for you guys, it should say Julie Moore, Linda Evans, Georgia Surgeon. You know, it should be your names. Y'all found it?
Yep.
Okay. That's outside of your computer. That's on the cloud. So if you want to look and check on what your space is on the cloud, what your connections are, what your devices are, this is away from your computer. This is the cloud. Okay. So at the very top, this is nothing to do with your hardware that you're sitting in front of. This has to do with the cloud. Now, I'm going to stop this share. I'm going to show you on the phone that same spot, and then I'm going to show people on the other older systems how to do it. So here's my phone. It's coming up. Here it is. Okay. So I'm going to back out of where I was, back out and go back to general. And then up at the very top, there it is. That is taking me to my Apple account, to the iCloud. And I click on that. And here I am. This is the information that has to do with stuff that's not on this phone at all. It's the stuff that's on the cloud. So up until now, again, anything under this is about my phone. If my phone has Wi-Fi, if my phone has space, if my phone has apps, if my phone has everything. And then up here, it's all about my Apple account, the cloud. Is everyone clear about this? And if everyone found it, give me a yes. I need you to click on your name and be on the cloud. And now I'm going to share what that looks like on the Mac, on the old version. So both Carol's and Jennifer, pay attention. Over here at the top of your preferences, it still says Apple ID because it's the old version. The name used to be Apple ID for the last 20 years. It just changed to Apple account in Sequoia. So before that, it still said Apple ID. So Apple ID or Apple account are the same thing. If I click on that, it takes me, so I need to click on the word Apple ID, and it takes me into the cloud. So again, everything I see here has nothing to do with this computer. It's the cloud. On the phones, on the iPads, and on the computer where I'm taking you right now. Here's the thing called iCloud storage. So this is another word called storage, but it is how much storage do I have in the cloud? It looks very similar to the storage we found before, but it is not about your computer. It's about the cloud. So Carol and Jennifer, were you able to find this? If so, I will continue sharing with the other computer, but is that a yes, Jennifer, or no? In your system preferences, do you see the Apple ID over there? No. Okay. You're talking and I am not hearing you, so I should have told you that before. You got to unmute yourself because I saw the no and I saw the puzzled face, but I don't hear your word. So please unmute. I'm talking to Jennifer now. Please unmute yourself. if you were saying things because I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. I'll go back.
Do you have your system preferences? I'm talking about your computer now.
Yes,
Where-
I'm on the
Did you open
computer.
your system preferences?
And I go up to the Apple and I
Yes.
open system preferences.
Yeah. And
then-
it should look like this.
Yes, well, I don't see yours, I just see mine.
Okay. So at the very top, it should have your name.
Okay, yes,
And further to the right, you should see the little icon for Apple, or it said Apple ID.
yes.
Okay, click on your Apple ID icon.
Okay, that's the part I missed before.
All right. And now, on the left side, you should find a place that says the word iCloud. And if so, you should be seeing like little check marks and the iCloud storage. You're
Yeah.
seeing that? Okay. So this down here is, when I say down here, let me make a little circle. This is your iCloud storage.
Okay.
Okay. And these are the apps that you have connected to your iCloud. And as I scroll up or down, there's more available. Down here, I can keep scrolling, and these are all the things. Now, guys, remember I told you that I would tell you at some point if something is really dangerous to click on? These are really dangerous to click on. So don't. If they're on, leave them on. If they're off, leave them off. I'm talking about these check marks. Okay. These really change stuff about your computer. So do not do any of this until we talk about it. Do not just start clicking away like crazy. That's just my warning. Do not. Okay, I'm going to stop that share. I know, Yolanda, your hand's been up. Let me go really quickly over here first to make sure that I don't have people clicking on weird things. So here's my Apple ID, my Apple account. And what I just took Jennifer to is to the iCloud. So let's go over here and click on iCloud in case you probably were already there automatically. And if not, this is what it looks like now. And here's my storage of my iCloud. Okay. And my storage of my iCloud is, let me circle it up here. And we're going to talk more about this. Why, how come, what's the iCloud? Is it useful? Is it not useful? We're going to deal with all of that. But right now, Jennifer's, this was down at the bottom. And for us, it's here. And these are our apps, okay, that are in the cloud. There's no check marks. To see all the apps that are in the cloud, saved to the cloud, we would go see all. And here they go. And this is where you have to be very careful and do not turn on or turn off things that are turned on or turn off. You need to have them all, exactly as they are. If they have a little blue line, that means they're on, leave them on. If they're gray, that means it's off, leave them off. We're going to talk about when you switch them and when not. But these are the apps that are in the cloud. All right, now, yes, Yolanda?
So I don't know if I'm following. On my phone, I am on About, and then my name shows there, Yolanda Almendado's iPhone, iOS version 18.5, model of iPhone 14.
Yes.
That-
So you are here under General, About. This is where you are. Okay,
Oh.
so now move to the left, go back to this area, leave General, and scroll up in case you don't see it, and go up to the very top of this area has your name.
It's not moving, it's only moving up and down. Doesn't move where you had
You were in General About. This is
Oh,
where
I
you told me you were. So this area here, okay, should be able to move up and down.
Okay,
Go
now,
to the very top of that.
okay, so I think I can find that on the iPhone. Now on the
Oh, no, I'm not on the phone right now. I'm on your computer.
Oh, you are on my computer?
Yeah, but it's by the way, but if you were on the phone, it's the same thing. Let me just share on the phone. It looks a little bit different though. That's why I'm going to share. So if you're on your phone, if you were in general in your phone or general about, right? So yeah, it goes up and down in here and you don't see the rest. So you need to go to the back up here,
Okay.
this little area to that little back button there and back out of that. And then you're in general and you need to keep backing out of that until you're finally in this main menu and then scroll down and then you'll see your name at the top.
I see. So now on the,
And then you click on, so first you see your name and then you click on iCloud.
I see. Okay, thank you. I think I'll be able to.
Right? So that before we got into iCloud on the phone or on the computer, because now what I'm showing is basically the same, except for on the phone, the screen kind of disappears versus on the computer, it stays on the left. This thing that's up here at the top, right? When you see the name, you click on your name, before you even go down to the cloud, SBCC Business Services is where you should see your name. Right underneath that, there's the most important thing that you should know. And this was for the last 10 years called Apple ID. Now it's called your Apple account. So for many of you guys, it's your email address. For others, it's not. Maybe it's an old email address that you haven't used in 4 or 5 years. That is your Apple ID or Apple account. So say that you have to pay you need to call Edison because your phone, your power is out. You'll call them and they go, what's your account? And you'll go to the bill and you'll find an account number. That's how they distinguish who you are and where you live. If you go to school and you want to register for a class, they'll say, what's your K number? That's your K number is your ID for the school to know who you are. For Apple, the ID to know who you are is this number, is this email right there. I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to share now my computer. This, when I click on SBC Business Services, this is my Apple ID. And the important thing is that this is and should be identical to the one that was on your phone or identical to the one that was on your iPad. You cannot have different ones. So now I'm going to clear your answers. And I want everyone to tell me if you found your Apple ID / now called Apple account, which is this number that's there. If so, and you didn't know where it was, write it down. This is very important. It's your Apple account. I still tend to call it Apple ID because this just switched a few months ago and I haven't switched my vocabulary as quickly. But Apple ID, Apple account are the same thing. And it's usually either your current or an old email address. Now I'm only seeing 4 or 5 yeses, so I need yeses from everyone. Have you found your Apple account? If you haven't found it, give me a no. If you have found it, then we're all good. Carol, how are you doing? I haven't heard from you in a little bit. Carol Gear.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm at Apple ID.
Mhm.
I found it. I'm not sure what else I was to be doing.
So that's it. You found it. It says something there that's an email, an old one or
I have an old email under a symbol.
Okay. So let me explain why it's an old email and why it is still perfectly valid.
Okay.
Because some of you guys are like, yeah, it's my email. Oh, when I change my email, it'll yeah, thank you, Bob. It's your username. Yeah, some people call it username, or some people call it your login, some people call it your account number, some people used to call it your ID. It's basically that thing that distinguishes you amongst everyone else to Apple. And when you first got your first Apple device, some of you guys have had Apple devices for 10 years, 15 years. At that point, Apple said, what's your email? And you
Yeah.
told them what your email was. That became your Apple ID.
Okay.
So behold, 10 years later, 4 years later, you've changed your email. You don't use that email anymore. It doesn't matter. It's basically just still your username. Does that make sense? It's not about it being your email. It's just that even before that, when I first became an Apple user, they let you invent a name. They'd say, write in a name. And so I wrote in a name. And guess what? Most people would do that and then they'd forget what they'd written. They'd invent, apple tree. They'd say something and they would forget it. But you know how no one forgets their email addresses? And they figured out no one forgets their email addresses. So at some point, a long time ago now, they changed it and they ask, what's your email? So people tell them email and they write down the email and that becomes your email address. Now, eons later, I don't use that email anymore. Doesn't matter. That's still your Apple ID, your Apple username, your Apple account name. Does that make sense, you guys? So it is and isn't
Yes.
related to your email in that for some of you guys, you still have that email address and you're like, what's the deal? It's my email address. And for others, you're like, I haven't used this thing in 10 years. It's still your Apple ID and it won't change. And you can only have one. Does that make sense? We're all good with that? Okay. Now, for those of you for whom it is also your email, then yeah, it might have to do with how it relates to the email you pick up. But if you've gotten rid of that email, it doesn't matter at all. Now, by the way, I noticed that a long time ago, I didn't pay attention, like 10 minutes ago, Patricia said that you're in trouble because it's 3/4 full. So Patricia, were you talking about your phone or your computer?
My computer, Diana, is very, very slow, and I just noticed that I have like one video like 3 times or 4 times. So I'm going to wait until next week so start cleaning up.
Okay. And that's the kind of stuff that we'll address very directly during Mac level 1. So hopefully you have a chance to take that one. But if I know that you've done this quite a bit more, so you might be able to start working on it. But other than that, I'll show you how to deal with that.
Okay.
Mac level 1. Now it's a video. I can also show you that in the iPhone class, in the iLife class. But if it's a file that's filling your computer and it's a video file that you have outside of the phone app, then it could be, and this is something that blows people's minds, and we'll talk much more about it during the Mac level 1 class. But if you send a video that you videoed something and you send it, you text it to one person, then you email it to another person, then you text to 3 other people individually. Now that video resides in your phone 3 times, 5 times. And so you need to get rid of those copies. You keep one only. And so anyway, I'll explain all of that. But yeah, slowly, you're really proud of one video and you send it to 10 people. My son graduated, which by the way, both my sons graduated.
Where?
So my youngest one graduated high school and my eldest one graduated from Berkeley. So I've had 2 graduations. They're 4 years apart,
Nice.
so it's perfect,
Yay.
right? High school and college, they got
It
their
seemed like he just started Berkeley last year when you were doing
seems
it
like
from
he
the
just
car.
started. Yeah, well, he did 2 years here at City College and then 2 years at Berkeley. He transferred.
Wow.
So
awesome.
he just graduated. So yay, now I have to start the whole college thing with my youngest one. But
You have to keep working.
I know. Oh God, yeah. It's so funny. I was out there traveling, having all this fun. And my husband was here working. And now we switched. Well, he's out there traveling, having a lot of fun, and I'm here working. Someone has to keep the lights on. So anyway.
Is your younger one going to Berkeley or UCLA?
No, no, not at all. He and my son in so many ways are similar and others are so different. He's a total, he's marine biology. So Berkeley is not the place for that.
Yeah.
Nor UCLA, maybe UCSB, but he kind of wants to leave town. So he's looking at I don't know. Right now, he's going to probably stay this year also like Santi did at City College, which has an amazing biology program, by the way.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to do that here, and then he's going to look at what's the best marine biology place to go to.
You see San
Still
Diego.
have him for one more year. I was so sad. I was like, oh no. But I have him for a little bit longer. And by the way, some of you don't know me. I kind of assume everyone knows me, but I didn't do really my intro because I was in another house and whatever. I'm from Argentina. And the reason I say that is because Argentinians are not accustomed to having their kids disappear from their homes when they're 17 and never seeing them again once a year at Christmas or something like that. I've been suffering all my life to getting to the point when it's college and I don't see my kids move away. because I'm like, I even told when I got married, my husband, I'm not going to have kids here because I don't want my kids to disappear. Which, by the way, is what I did because I came to college here and here I still am. So my mom gets to see me only when I travel. And it's like, so clearly I was afraid of my kids doing what normal kids do in the States, which is what I did to my mom, which is not being in my life every day anymore. Well, fortunately, we have City College and that keeps them a year or two more with me. So I still have a good city college for them to go to. But then after that, who knows? Yeah. So I broke my word. I had kids here and now I'm suffering. Yeah, and I was laughing because I was in Spain and over there it's the same. You know, kids stay in their homes until they get married or until they decide it's time, you know, they're established and professional and they move away or whatever, but they'll move into another's house in the same city. Here everyone just takes off and goes far away, and I'm not accustomed to that yet. I've been here for so long, I don't even, you can't even tell. I'm by the way, dual citizen. I'm a citizen here too, but that is the one thing that still kills me about you Americans. Anyway. And everyone's like, oh, yay, they left. I'm an empty nester. And I'm like, oh, they left. I want to be with my kids, all family. Anyway, so, where was I? Let me share now my, well, no, I'm not going to share that. I'm going to go here to my handouts. So first of all, who was able to access the handouts? Remember that you had a homework and the homework was to review accessing handouts. And I know that some of you might have been able to do it and some of you might have been like, I have no idea what she showed and I need some help with that. If you were able to access your handouts and you're good with that and the account worked and you went to my SBCC and got in and did all of that between Tuesday and Thursday and it worked well, give me a yes. If you tried it and you're like, oh, la, 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 confused, life is, or if you were just too busy because you had things to do and you didn't try it and you're not sure you can do it, then please give me a no. So yes, if you know how to access the handouts, no, if you don't. Okay, now here's the next question. Did y'all get the email that I sent with the links for the recording and the summary?
Yes.
Yes.
Did anyone just check it out just to see how it worked? Just because maybe you were in the class, so you didn't need to review, but you clicked on
No,
those that I
I
sent?
didn't try it yet.
It worked for me.
What's that?
It works for me.
It worked. I just, first of all, thanks for telling me it works because now and then I might send the wrong link or
How does
something.
it do it?
All right. So let me just show you for a second how it would work when you get that email. Okay.
No, I
So-
got it. I looked at it, but so it's artificial intelligence. It's AI.
Yeah, so let me, it's interesting. It's pretty cool, isn't it? The video is just the video. And so let me share this with you. In case you didn't, oh, sharing the wrong thing. Let me share this one. Okay. So here's my email, right? And I sent you guys links to the class recordings and summaries. So I sent you guys this email. Now, I won't be sending you this email anymore.
What?
No, I will expect you guys to find the links yourselves. I
Oh,
have way too many classes and it's way too complicated. And I've tried it a few times and then I get like the links all incorrect because I'm sending like everyone a different mail. So what you need to do is go get them yourselves. But this was the exception just for this first class. Right? I said, click here to get today's class recording and click here to read the AI summary of the first day of class. And then I said, please click on this link to discuss our class survey. Did anyone get to fill out that survey?
No.
yes.
Yeah.
All right, in case you didn't, I am putting that link in the chat. If you go to the chat, a link just appeared. Could you please click on the link that appeared in the chat? If you do that, which I just did, it'll take you over here to the Mac Apple Student Prior Experience Survey. Go ahead, and for those of you who didn't get there, please go ahead and give me some feedback. But on the other hand, you can leave that open and do it after class. Don't forget, by the way, you guys, when you finish that, to end at the very end to write the submit, or it doesn't come to me. Okay. So I would rather you keep paying attention to the class, but if that tab stays open, then you can keep paying attention to the class, and then when the class is over, you can finish it. Okay. So I want an answer from everyone about the MAC survey. And some of you have taken the class before, you've already answered. So you're like, oh God, again. But you know, your knowledge has changed, things have changed. So if you can every now and then fill it. New people, I definitely need it. People who've already filled it out and you don't have anything new to say, fine. But one of the things that I ask is, do you have a specific goal, feature, something that you want to know? And that might have changed, right? So at least give me that answer. I'm saying for those of you who filled this out a bunch of times. Okay. So I'm gonna leave this right now because I don't want to delve into it. I'll let you guys do it on your own. But I do want to show you guys one more time, and I'm gonna hope you guys have practiced to go get it. But when you get to my.sbcc.edu, how I got to the handouts, I went to Gmail, clicked on Gmail, and then I went to this little icon that has, once I click on it, the Google Drive. And I clicked on Google Drive and then shared drives. Okay. And at that point, you have the Mac Intro Level 1 and Level 2 shared drive, and I'll open it up. This is where you have all of the files, including the file that I just showed you today, which was the Mac OS classes, which ones are the, you know, the versions and how compatible they are and that kind of stuff. Now, the top one, Zoom class recording links entered to the Mac. I'm going to open it again. And this time, as opposed to the other day, now you see that there's two links. This is a link to the class recording, and this is a link to the AI summary. This is what I just sent you. I sent you that email, and I had it here, I'm sorry. These two links. It's the class recording and the AI summary. I have it here on this page. So from now on, after today, so tomorrow, if you look, you'll have a link here for today's recording and a link here for today's summary, and so on and so forth. I'm going to fill out the dates of the class, okay? So let me show you how this works.
It's 12:20.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, almost done. So this is good. So here's the, we're going to talk a lot about the class, about the cloud, iCloud next week. So today I just kind of showed you where to get to it, but there's a whole bunch of what is this, why, how come. And there's some handouts in here that talk about the iCloud. So if you want to start reading some of them, the cloud storage, Apple ID. Oh, see how to find your Apple ID or password. See, there you go. Now I should change that name. In fact, I'm going to rename it right now because now it's not Apple ID anymore. Apple ID, Apple account, right? Or password, because that's the name now. But there's a lot of good stuff here. How to request access to a deceased family member's Apple account, how to look up your pipeline in your name. There's stuff that you might want to just read because you want to read, and you have time between here and next Tuesday to start learning stuff. But there's also stuff about the iCloud and a lot of iCloud information. So anyway, have some fun with that. But my point was, let me show you how this recording and the summary works. So I'm going to click on the summary first. When you click on it once, it doesn't go there immediately. You then need to click on this again, and it opens up. So this is the meeting summary for the class that happened last week, June 24th. And this is not me writing it. This is the computer Zoom AI saying, Diana led a technical troubleshooting to help her use a Zoom to come to class. Diana did this, Diana did that, Diana did that. But you see how it doesn't teach you how to do it. It just tells you what I did. Does that make sense? What I taught. Then it goes next steps. I want you guys to read these next steps, because if you forget between here and Tuesday what you had to do, this was your homework basically. Practice accessing files through the dashboard in Google Drive before Thursday's class. Ensure all Apple devices are charged and ready for Thursday's class. Access your student dashboard. Log into my SBCC. set up and verify that you can get to the school account. Basically, a lot of these are repetitive. I could have deleted 1 or 2 of these, but that's what Apple ID, because I said it enough times that complete the class survey and watch any missed portions of the class recordings before the next session. So this is what the computer or the AI picked up from everything I said that it thought was important to remind you, right? So kind of homework will be set up there. It's really what you need to do to practice. So the practice was practice getting to here. If you didn't do it this Tuesday to Thursday, then do it from Thursday to Tuesday. Make sure you learn and remember how to get to here. So how you do that is by going to the email that I sent you and clicking on this video, which shows you the process again and again and again, because it's just like an 8-minute video. You can repeat it as many times as you need until you remember and learn how to get to the class handouts. Does that make sense? And then you can do it yourselves. So on Tuesday, I'm going to say, okay, has everyone been able to get to the class handouts? And if you haven't, then hopefully if you haven't tried it at all, you'll still be saying no. But if you've watched the video and tried it, watched the video and tried it, watched the video and tried it, and it's still not working, then that's a great point for me to try to help you one-on-one to do it. Does that make sense? But I want you guys to try to help yourselves from Tuesday to Thursday, because it's basically a video of me saying exactly the thing I'm going to say here, which is click on this, go to Gmail, go to that. So then the summary goes on, to say, okay, so she started setting up the chat feature. Then she taught on how to use the yes, no, and raise your hand features. And then she covered how to communicate personal absences through the chat. Then she explained how to use a second device. Remember, this is basically what happened last week. But to learn it, you need to watch the recording. This just tells you, she explained that the current session was being recorded. She guided participants through the process of accessing the dashboard using Safari, So the whole point of this summary is if you missed the class, what did you do that day? You can read it. It's just 1 page or a page and a bit. You can also find what you missed. Say that you had to help the plumber in the middle of the class. So then you kind of look over here and go, oh, in the middle of the class, oh, that's what you did in the middle. Okay. And then you go to the video and you search in the middle of the video the part that you missed. Does that make sense? But reading this isn't teaching you anything. It's just supporting you knowing where and what, like beginning or end, did I teach something? But then you still need to go back and watch the video if you missed that portion. So how do you watch the video? You come to this link and you click 1 more time. And this is the video. And guys, this is on YouTube. So it'll have ads here and there because YouTube puts it on. But it's safe. No one else sees it. So it's not like you guys are now public on YouTube, because the only people who can watch this YouTube, it's private, is people who have that link, which is only you guys. So don't give this link to anyone else, of course. So if you have this page with that link, you can watch this video, but no one else can. Does that make sense? So you don't need to worry about that people out there on YouTube are seeing you. No, they can't reach this video unless they have the direct link, which I provide to you. And so the class was 3.5 hours, but I stayed longer. So this says 4 hours because I stayed helping Sue at the end. So it's a 4-hour video. And this whole thing is 4 hours long. So if you press play, it's from the very beginning of me saying, hi, hello, right there, when I was in the other house. And then if you pause it, right, you can see how I can move my finger through this little timeline. And I can say, I want to go and see this thing that she started saying at 3 hours in. So I click over here and I've advanced 3 hours in, and that's over here. And then you press play and now you're seeing thousands of emails a day, that part of 3 hours in. Then you go, I want to go see the middle, and 1.5 hour in, you click on that and there I am. Now, just so you know,
Diana's appearing.
this also records my break. So you'll have 15 minutes in here. Well, you'll see nothing but this because I don't turn the recording off. So for 15 minutes, you just see nothing. So when you're watching it, just advance to when I start talking again. Does that make sense? It's literally the entire recording of the class, and it's up to you to go up and down, and see the whole ending part is just me and Sue, because I was just talking with Sue, giving her support. but I was showing her how else to get to the class handouts. And guess what? If for any reason you can't get to the class handouts the way I showed you, then here I showed her a whole alternative way because, you know, there's different ways to get to them. So this way might work for you. So the last half hour is an alternative way to get to the class handouts that I showed Sue. You can try that. So anyway, that's the important thing. But these two links for today will be here. I won't email them to you. So you need to know how to get to this thing. So if you forgot how to get to this thing, go to the email that I sent you yesterday, click on this link. Oh, I didn't send you here the video of how to get to the class handouts. Oh, that's an oopsie. Okay, I'll send it today. I'll send you the video of how to get to the class handouts, and I'll send that today. Okay, good to know. All right.
Georgia has a question.
There we go. Georgia, yes, what's your question?
Well, I asked whether it's possible to print out the AI meeting.
Oh, yeah.
I tried. I couldn't find anything that said to go to the printer.
Well, Google is a bit weird. You basically go to File and Print here at the bottom.
So file in Safari?
Yeah. So when you're reading the summary,
Yeah.
when you open it,
Yeah.
up here it'll say File, and then
Okay.
go to the bottom and Print, and then it'll just deal,
Take me to the printer
the
that
printer.
still works for this minute.
It still works right now, and then you can print it on your printer, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you're welcome. Great question. Anyone else have a question about handouts, links, videos, and how to catch up with a class?
Well, I also had, this is Georgia again. I also had wondered whether you had sent us any earlier class handouts in the kind of introductory, because this was the only one I found, but I didn't know if there were any earlier ones.
No, no, the initial email was just telling you how to sign into the class, but there were no handouts. The handouts are all here. I
Okay.
don't send, well, I got, some of you guys might have been my students in the times when we were still printing. I would have like a stack like this for each person of handouts. A long time ago already, the school asked for us not to print things anymore. And so they're all online and you can print them at home. But there's a ton of stuff here that you can print if you want, or you can just read online. But let me just say, oh, this one needs to be trashed. That was when I was first turning. Okay, so one way that you can look at these handouts is basically when I point one out, when I open one up, like how to find your macOS version. If you click on how to find your macOS version, this is kind of the class that we did today. I told you about going to the Apple, go to About This Mac, and then if you have the old version, it says macOS Syria. If you have the new version, it says MacBook Pro, and it shows it here. So I have handouts showing what I did today to support the class. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But I wouldn't print that out and hand it to you now. Does that make sense? Now, let me just show you something else about the Google documents, and then after that, it'll be near enough to the class to be over. Over here, you could be looking at your Google handouts this way, which I think is the default in the list layout, and you don't know what's in each one of these. You have to open it to see what they are. Or you could have clicked on this icon now or before or by mistake or on purpose, and you could be seeing little tiny previews of each one of the handouts. Now, I find that the little previews might be easier, right? Now, you don't get to see all of the name, how to access code, right? But you see that. So if you like seeing this better than when I show you things like today, I showed you this one. So that looks familiar to you, macOS versions. That will look familiar to you because it's the one that I showed you today. And when you open that one up by double clicking, here it is. This is the one that I showed you today in class. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the work the stuff that I show you in class is all here for you guys, and more, because this is for Mac Intro level 1 and 2. So there's stuff here that doesn't apply to today's class, but it will apply to Mac level 2 or to Mac level 1. Does that make sense?
Okay.
A lot of people, I used to have them separate, and then people will go, well, where's the handout for this? Where's the handout for that? And ultimately, all the Mac things are in, communicated. So I basically made one folder where I have all this stuff. So we're going to talk about cloud computing next week, and there's quite a bit of cloud stuff in here. So you could go to iCloud Drive, iCloud.com, or you can wait for me to show it in class, and then you have this to support your knowledge. Does that make sense?
Okay.
But here I have the whole iCloud settings across devices, and this is the old version of iCloud settings that I was showing today, right? For example, and then I have the new one for how it looks not here is how it looks on the phone, right? iCloud space device and that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff. Some of this I need to get rid of the old version already because, well, I won't still get rid of it because there's 3 students still have the old version. But after a while, when people don't have the old version, I'll start cleaning it up because otherwise it's like, well, that's not how it looks on mine. It looks like this on mine. And yeah, it gets confusing. Maybe I can have a folder for the old version and a folder for the new version. But when I put things in folders, I find that it might be a little bit more complicated for people. So anyway, I see I have a duplicate here that I wouldn't have noticed. Anyway, so that's the handout. So if you see them like this, you just see the names, right? There's a food pantry. Actually, I have a new schedule, so I'll put this one is from the 12th. They have a new schedule right now. At the Wake Center, there's different things that you can do here, or you can look at them like this and see a bit better what the issue is. But here's my homework, and class is over in a minute. So here's my homework for next week, next Tuesday. A, know how to get in here. Know how to get to the class handouts, know how to open the Zoom class recording links, at the very least, so that you can get to the reviews. So if you don't know how to do this, if you've practiced and you don't know how to do this, I will send you this one right here. Since I didn't attach it, I will send you this email right now, this video, as soon as class is over. This is a video that shows you how to get in here. So keep an eye on the email, okay? That I will show you how to get into my.sbcc.edu. And then the second thing that you need to practice or do is I need you to know your Apple ID password. So what does that mean? At some point when you created your Apple account, they also ask you to set up a password. Maybe you never changed it and you have it, or maybe you changed it and you have it written somewhere. Go find it, put it next to your computer. By Tuesday, we're going to be talking about the iCloud account, the Apple account password. We need to be able to get into it. Now your computer might remember it automatically. So you might be like, oh, it's fine. But what if one day you lose your computer? Then your new computer won't remember it automatically. So please do your best to maybe your son, your friend, your technician helped you set up your Apple ID and stuff like that. And hopefully then you wrote it down somewhere or ask them, which one do you think have you used for me or stuff like that. Worst case scenario, if you don't have it there, then there's different techniques to reset it and to have it for that. But as I said, passwords, you go to the store, Apple store, they don't know your password. They can't get in either. That's the whole point of a password. So it's important to know them and to not lose them. But there are some recovery setup systems, and I'm going to try to help you with that. All right, Mei-san?
Yes. I noticed that the link to the class handout, your CRN number is different from what I have, because when I click the link, it's no link, it's blank.
Which link? These links?
Yeah, I don't have a link. And then I just noticed my CRN number is 81441 and yours is 80514.
Oh, well, hold on. That might be me just not having updated. Hold on. What's 81441? Yeah, you're right. No, this is just me.
But then when I click on that link, I don't see anything.
When you click on this link to the class,
No. I click on that
AI Centering?
The class. If you go back the page, not using your email to get to this link, to find how can't you see that?
So in this email?
another email, the Mac intro, the class material.
Class-
Not this page.
Class material is an email probably from a long time ago. Look at the date of that email.
So did I shouldn't go to the wrong place.
Go ahead
Because
and
here,
share your screen so I can see what you're talking about, because I don't think I have anything called class material for this class right now. Share your screen for a second.
okay, then I need to open this.
Bye, Deanna. I have to go. Have
All
a good
right.
weekend.
Bye, Julie. Anyone who needs to go, thank you. We're 3 minutes past. Sorry, I always try to acknowledge when it is the time. So if you need to go, please go.
Have a
My
good
students will be down
weekend.
in a few minutes, but practice getting into the class handouts, okay? Bye. All right.
You see,
So,
I'm in this page and I click on this.
oh, no, but no,
No?
that's intro to June 24th, 25th. Okay. All right. Yeah, it should work. Okay, click on it.
See, I don't see any link here.
That is so weird. Does anyone else have that happening to them?
And then this is CRN number A1441. I don't know. And
Yeah, I just
before
changed
that, you have a different, you
I
change
just,
it. Yeah.
I just updated it to the right one. That's
Oh.
why you're seeing this. So it is the right one because I just updated it. But why aren't you
Uh-huh.
seeing the links? Huh. And in fact, I know that you're seeing the right one because I just updated that number. Let me just write, let me just go enter to the Mac for Mason, right? Core for Mason. I just wrote something in it. Now go ahead and go to the top of your screen and refresh over here. Do a little refresh. See where I pointed to that
Refresh,
little-
okay.
It's not saying for Mason, so it's not refreshing. Go ahead and close it.
Close this one.
Yeah. We're seeing the same thing.
But if I click on your email link, it go to the
June
video directly.
Yeah. No, go back to the class handouts one more time. Do a refresh now. And now go back to it one more time.
This is close. Do you want me close?
No,
It's not refresh.
that's true. It changed. 1 second. I have some stuff in the way. 1 second. Okay. So go over here. Shared drives. Click on shared drives again to back out. Okay, and go in again, just as a refresh. And this is the one that you need to go to.
Yeah.
It says for Mason.
Interesting.
The links. So let's go back and see what the other one is. It could be that I have the wrong name. So go back to the handouts now, which is there. Close this
This
one.
is the old one. Close this.
Yeah, close it.
Okay.
And then go to this one. Go over here to this tab. Sorry, now it moved because it got moved.
This
go
one?
to tab. No, this one.
This one.
Yeah. Go down, scroll down. Where, because that's where you were. Oh, so that's my intro to the Mac. Okay, because this is supposed to be the Mac level 1. I got the wrong name on it. I got 2 with intro to the Mac. Okay, these are the ones waiting for Mac level 1 and Mac level 2. So I'll change that name. That should say Mac level 2.
Oh, okay.
That's why they're empty. And then
Okay.
I always leave them at the bottom, kind of hanging there, but the top one is the active one and it's the right one and it has a link. So I'm going to go now.
I see. Okay.
Get rid of the for Mason.
Mhm.
I am going to close that and I'm going to go back to the handouts and yeah, go and change that one there. And I'm fixing it right now. This one is not intro to the Mac. This one is Mac level 2. And yeah, I got the wrong. That was just me. So now it should be okay. Okay, perfect.
you
So
do.
that, glad you pointed that out. I was so sleepy and I was doing this that I crossed the names, but the right one is right. It's just this other one that's in the bottom is wrong, and those are not the right dates, and it should be empty. Okay, so that's my piece.
Okay, I clicked the wrong one.
All right, cool. No, well, it made sense. It had that name, right? It should have been
Yeah.
right, but it wasn't. So there we go. And my
Okay,
title too is 80514. That's why the number was right, but the title was wrong. Okay, now all fixed. Thank you for pointing that out. I wouldn't have
Okay,
noticed that had
thank
you not
you.
said that.
Mm.
So that's great. Thank you.
Mm.
Okay, guys, I'll see you on Thursday, and I will right now send you
Tuesday.
Tuesday, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you an email with the video of how to get to the class handouts so that you can practice from here to Thursday on how to get in. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. See
Bye.
you next week. Bye. And Carol, you tell me how it went with your upgrade. Okay. Carol Sauce.
Oh, okay.
Okay.